Look, the music is in trouble and we have to help it out. Now, baby, that's all you need to know about, so why don't you just go on back home?
I never said you couldn't help the music, Imani.
God damn it, woman, I ain't no Imani. I'm little Jackie. Shit, don't you understand nothing?
Saturday, gray winter weather in the end of May. I watched my lover just walk away. Saturday, I can't recall a Saturday. Are we supposed to take our love and just throw it away? Or can we make up, baby? You know what? Breakup, let's get together and make up. Agree to disagree. Make a list of everything you dislike about me. Put it on a piece of paper and throw it away. It's not a good day for a breakup. Sunday blues. Yeah, I still haven't got a clue. And I can't seem to get in touch with the truth. Seem to get a hold of you. Now Sunday's through. Kicking myself. And I haven't got a good excuse. Kicking myself. But now I recognize the wrong in the things that I do. I must apologize sincerely to you. 'Cause it's not a good day for a breakup. Let's get together and make up. Agree to disagree. Make a list of everything you dislike about me. Put it on a piece of paper and throw it away. It's not a good day for a breakup. Can I hit you up just to say, hey, feel like I've lost that privilege for sure. I'm having a bad day. I don't ever wanna say so-and-so was a friend of mine, but we don't talk anymore. Get back together today. Okay, I'm game. I hope you feel the same. 'Cause it's not a good day for a breakup. Let's get together and make up. Agree to disagree. Make a list of everything you dislike about me. Put it on a piece of paper and throw it away. It's not a good day for a breakup.
Yay! It's Imani Coppola. Although in America, because they say Coppola, and I do worry that I've been saying her name wrong for the entire time that I have known her and respect her. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Catherine's going to be a little bit late. Because I had trouble with Lucky, my cat, the other day, and I took it to the vets, and I got a fifth. I got a fifth of the bill back from the insurance company. Thank you, guys. Well, Catherine has had to take Willow to the vets. She came home with a little wound. I'm sure she's fine. Catherine thought she'd been shot with a BB gun, and I said, no, this is not 1983 in the United States of America. So Catherine is at the vets. It's PJ night, guys. PJ Wilkes, please stand up. Catherine is at the vets. She will have to keep an eye on the Zoom because she will join at some point. I know it. I have faith in her. So she'll be with us at some point. Welcome, everybody. That is why tonight, tomorrow, free shows. Free, not three. And we have a donate bar up there if you want to donate to the vet bills. It's Pledge Week. If you want to donate to the vet bills, you're very welcome to. ! Donate. If you want to subscribe to Twitch, it's different from Patreon. And I would suggest, thank you, Ryan, and thank you, Linny. I would suggest don't pay for the subscription to Twitch. You can link your Amazon Prime account with Twitch, and you can sub to us for free, and we get a couple of quid. I wouldn't pay for it. If you feel like spending cash, go to the Patreon. Go and sign up at the Patreon, and you spend a few quid, and you get access to thousands of hours of shows, thousands of hours of podcasts and videos. You get to join us every Thursday and Friday for live shows that are okay. Good news. Willow is fine. Willow is fine. Good news. And Catherine's on her way home. She'll be with us shortly. The Patreon link is there, Ryan. Thank you. So instead of paying for a Twitch sub for a couple of pennies more, it's you're better off paying for a Patreon sub. But however you want to help is gratefully appreciated. John Harris, thank you very much for the tip. John, of course, a big fan of cats. If you don't tip, then you hate cats. We're on Twitch, so let's do it. Super Saint, thank you. Liam, thank you for the raid. Beastie Boy, thank you for the sub. Lenny, thank you for the sub. Ian, Ryan, and Villa Forever. Yeah. So I have installed... What does ADHD look like? Well, it looks like the guts of my computer spilling all over the floor. I have in... Oh, shoot, I haven't screwed in the graphics card. Oh, shoot. I think it will hold. I think it will. When Catherine joins us, I will screw in the graphics card. Thank you, Sofa Bum, for the sub. I haven't screwed, so it's just hanging there by the chips. That'll be fine, right? That'll be fine. So thank you to everyone that helped me on, and I know a few of you here, everyone that helped me on Twitter work out how to, I needed more storage space because I'm downloading all the episodes of El Dorado, 40 gigabytes of El Dorado. We're going to have all the episodes. We're going to be doing this for the next 6 years. And, so I needed, this is a boring story, but what do you expect from a boring old man in his PJs? So I installed the extra memory. Thank you everyone that told me how to get it. It's working. Would you like to see it? Would you like to see it, what it's doing? It's 2 terabytes, guys. It's 2 terabytes and of cat pictures it's going to be. 2 terabytes of cat pictures. That's what it's going to be. That's what I'm going to fill it up with. Jimbo says, I hope El Dorado isn't going to be the new... El Dorado is one word, mate. Isn't going to be the new Paddington Green. Catherine and I did joke about that yesterday when she went, I bet we'll watch it for ages, then they'll end up hating it, and it turns out they'll have hated it all along. So why do you want me to move less? Why am I moving too much? What's your hard drive full of? Adult material, says Kate. No, it's old episodes of El Dorado. So we're here. It's going to be a chilled show tonight. Some stuff has happened this week, which we'll talk about. We've got a guest coming on at 7:30. Move less so the graphics card doesn't fall out. When Catherine's here, I'll screw it in. We got a guest tonight. So I have become obsessed, and this has been for the last few months. This has not been a quick ADHD thing. This has been going for a while. I've become obsessed with not just old computers. Emsalot says, I did a voiceover for an episode of El Dorado. Oh man, you got to find that. Not all of the episodes are on El Dorado. They took the most. If you know what episode it is, I'll have it. So I have been obsessed recently with primarily old gaming consoles, primarily the 8-bit and some of the 6 computers, not consoles, computers. Is it lagging for anyone else? Is it just me? And don't tell me it's lagging, and if it is, it's because it's the new SSD that I've installed. Oh man. And part of this obsession has I bought a BBC years ago with a little GoTech. It's like a little USB drive that acts as a floppy drive, and it's full of games, right? So you just load games instantly. And I bought a Dragon 32. Now, part of the reason I bought the Dragon 32 is because of the person we're going to have on the show at 20. He may even be here, may even be loitering here. Well, he's in trouble. Let me tell you, Neil, if you're here, you're in big trouble. So Neil from the Retro Man Cave is going to come on at 9:30. And I his videos were the ones that made me go, I'm going to order a Dragon 32. He's there. He's going to be on at 7:30. His videos were the final nail in the me hitting the buy button on the Dragon 32 on eBay. And for those who don't know, we'll get him to explain it, but he does loads of different videos. But the ones that whetted my appetite, Roger, now that I own the BBC, what am I supposed to do with this thing? If you don't know that song, please go and find it. The videos that got me, and there's not many videos of the Dragon 32 online, was him taking apart, I think it was you, Neil, taking apart a Dragon 32 and cleaning it and fixing it together. Maybe it wasn't you. I think it was. A few people have done it. Anyway, Neil does lots of videos of taking apart computers and cleaning them and fixing them. I now know what recapping means. I don't understand most of what he is doing, right? But it's like ASMR for me. I would just sit and watch them. Right, that's the 3 episodes on the BBC done. Let's go to the Commodore. Right, that's those done. Let's go to the Sinclair. I was watching the Sinclair QL the other day. What? Why would you do that? But I did. And that's opened up a rabbit hole. There are loads of other people taking computers apart and fixing them. Today this is how, it's like being a cocaine addict. And when you can't get cocaine, you buy what you think is cocaine, but it smells of lime. I had this once, and you still do it. And the lime-laced cocaine today was watching a 50-minute video on type-in programs for the BBC Micro. And anyway, I don't want to talk to you too much because Neil will be with us at 5:30. And we'll talk about that. And I know loads of you were the most popular guest that we've had. The most popular guest that we've had because I love the Retro Man Cave. I love it. I'm going to say it now. You're going to have a tough audience with Katherine. I'm really doing my best to convince her that from Dragon 32 to cocaine in 30 seconds. I'm trying to convince... Katherine's going to be a tough crowd, Neil. I warn you. She's down the same rabbit hole. And Katherine's not going to be here tonight. She's going to be on Zoom. So we'll speak to Neil. I will fix I will screw in my graphics card, and then maybe we'll open the Zoom. It's going to be a strange old show tonight. Welcome, friends, new and old. It's lovely to have you here. A lot of our Patreons are here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's a new month coming up. We hope you'll stick around for another month. Lots of people that can't afford the Patreon, you are very, very welcome to join us here for Pledge Week. And if you like it, maybe you'll consider signing up to the Patreon and helping keep this show going. We're having a lot of fun. The show has really hit. So I'm just seeing. Whoa! Hang on a second. Did that come up there? I don't think that's come up there. Gemma, I just got your donation, but it's not showed up here. I think it may have shown up in the other place, which is absolutely fine. Thank you very much indeed. They're all going to vets bills this month. They genuinely are. Turns out vets are really expensive. Maybe it's all the years of training. Who knows? I was talking about something there, and the shows recently have been back on track. Maybe we lost our way a little bit, a little wibble here, a little wobble there, but the shows is back on track, and I have to say they've been top form recently, top form. So Katherine will join us in a bit. Neil's going to join us in about 15 minutes or so, and the rest of it, it's kind of up to you. We're not going to watch. I don't think we're going to watch an El Dorado today. I found some. What I do now is oh, look at this, and there's a message from a lovely person who goes under the Twitter handle of Here Be Dragons, who's fixing my Dragon 32 for free. I cannot allow that. I will not allow that, and I will of course offer some form of recompense. But he's fixing my Dragon. Here's the... talk about it when Neil's here. Of course. Let me know how to pay, and I shall... Don't use more than one exclamation mark in don't use more than one exclamation mark in a message. But it's an ADHD thing, is abuse of ellipses and exclamation marks. It's a thing. Running another 5-week ADHD course starting next week. There's one space left, and then I won't be doing it again until March or April of next year. And one of the things I've learned through doing the course last time, and through working, my counselling job, that's what I do now, with clients who are ADHD, is I'm learning so much stuff. And part of this course is I learn a lot of stuff as well. Do I make many mistakes when touch typing? Raymond, you've not seen any of the Patreon posts that I've made. Yes. And one of the things, and I'm learning so much, and one of the things I've learned is the overuse of punctuation. It's an ADHD thing. I will do an exclamation mark at the end of every sentence, and the last sentence will get 3 or 4 or 5. The ... that's ellipses. I had to Google that when someone mentioned it to me. The ... is, you hear that? Is relentless. And now I make a real effort. No more than one exclamation mark per email. And if I'm sending an email to my pension man or the vets, I don't need to do any. Punctuation. Pody, thank you for the tip. Thank you. Sorry, it's not more. Hope this helps your animal families. Thank you. Look, we put this bar up there. It's a punt. We don't expect. If you're listening to the podcast and you want to help get paid towards our vet bills, insurance don't cover nothing. Then paypal.me/Iain Lee. paypal.me/IAINLEE. And we split the money 50-50. So yeah, that's a thing. Is the overuse? Just having a coffee. Got a pot of coffee. Jams, thank you for the sub. Ems a lot. Sofa Bum, I don't know if I mentioned your subs. Thank you. Gratefully appreciated. The overuse of punctuation is a key thing. Let me show you some of the stuff I found on Twitter. I move this here so I can see when my queen joins us. I go to my profile. I go to my profile. I go to my liked stuff. Let's have a little look. Bottom left. There we go. We're there. So let's have. Here we go. Well, this is Here Be Dragons, who's fixing my Dragon 32. Thank you. Here we go. Oh no, I want to show this one to Catherine. Have you seen this video? Wait for the result. And it's a guy doing a really swish video. But I want to save that one for Catherine. Here's people telling me how to fix stuff. Here's a fun one. Stepped on a Lego with bare feet and almost broke my neck. I'll try and describe it. So there's some steps in a basement.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I hadn't seen that with the sound on before. Jams, thank you for the sub. I hadn't seen that or watched that with the sound. So there's a kid sat about 3/4 of the way up the stairs, and a dad comes down. These are dangerous stairs because there's a banister on the wall side, but the other side there's nothing. Craig says it sounded like me. Well, let's find out.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
It does sound like me. It does sound like me. It does sound like me. Should we? I wonder if we can watch it in slow motion. Here we go. Let's watch it in slow motion. Here we go. This is great for the. Oh! Look at that! Look at that! Look at that! I don't take any pleasure in this. For a moment, his whole body is in the air. For just that moment, look, his whole body is in the... for quite a long time, look. His whole body is in the air. Boom. Anus, upper back. Anus and upper back. The most painful thing I've ever experienced. Ice skating. Every year I go, it'd be nice to go ice skating, right? And every year I hate ice skating. I don't remember until I'm on the ice and I go, I hate this. But the thing I hate the most about ice skating, let's just watch this guy for one more time, just for old time's sakes. The thing I hate most about ice skating is I will always fall at some point directly on, I don't mean to be vulgar, directly onto my sphincter. Neil is now hastily changing his name and deleting his Zoom account. Neil from Retro Man Cave is going to be on in 10 minutes. Is falling directly on the hole. And, oh my God, the pain goes right up. Right up. And it's so painful, and I have to clench. I'm trying to do a family-friendly... No, I would tell this story to my boys. No, this is a family-friendly show. Yeah, I'd tell it to my boys. The pain, it's so tense, and I have to clench my buttocks, and there's no way of easing the pain. I just know that in 6 minutes, the pain will go. 6 minutes, the pain will go. And here's an interesting thing about the human body, we can't remember what pain is like. We know it's nasty, we know it hurts, but you can't remember what pain feels like. That's why people have more than one baby. Oh, Paul Williams has just donated. He's not showing up here for some reason. I do apologise. Although that's you, Pody. I do apologise. Paul Williams, the singer-songwriter. There's a great documentary about Paul Williams. You know, he's a tiny guy. And I need to watch that film. Again, this is why people have more than one baby, because they can't remember what it's like. If you could remember the pain, you all right, big boy? Who is that? Oh, it's Pats. If you could remember the pain, you wouldn't do it again. Missile Truck says, I had to sit in a kind of inflatable rubber ring at school after cracking my coccyx. Remember when I had my vasectomy and Catherine bought me a donut to sit on. I was great with my vasectomy, right? I didn't have any, the wonderful David Turner's really, really struggled with it. Jams84, thank you for the follow. No, the sub. And I was fine. I've told you the story about my vasectomy, right? And I went in, and you basically, you pull your trousers and your pants round to your ankle. You don't even take them off. It's an in and out kind of thing. Well, I suppose that's what it is. And hello, Pats. You're right, love. You want to come and sit with me? And you pull your trousers and your pants round. You lie on the table, and you get that blue, that blue kind of towel paper. Gets that put over your sort of halfway at your stomach and your legs. And he cuts a hole in it, and he pulls your balls and your willy through. So your balls, it's like they're doing a puppet show. And then what he does is he cuts open, gives you an anaesthetic, cuts open your balls. Neil, again, is frantically trying to find if there's a legal way he can get out of coming on this show tonight. I'm sorry, Neil. You've agreed to it. You're locked in. Don't worry, we won't talk about any of this stuff when you're here. Notice I'm not swearing. It cuts a hole in your balls, and I don't know if they burn or they cut. I guess they burn like the pipe. So this guy is literally inside my testicles. I don't think he's even a doctor, and there's a nurse next to me. And he's literally inside my testicles. And the nurse says, do I know you from somewhere? Have you been on the telly? And I'm thinking, there's a man with his fingers in my nuts here. And what I do now is, it kind of varies. Sometimes I go, if I'm in a rush and I don't really fancy the conversation, I go, oh yeah, I used to be a while ago. But when you're there, you've got nowhere to go. So I know you from somewhere. Have you been on the telly? And I just go straight in and go, yeah. I'm a celebrity. I was on The Jungle. The same year as I stole the strawberry. I even got to throw that in now. I was on The Jungle and I stole the strawberries. Oh, what? Who were you in with? I was in with Toff and Stanley Johnson and Amica. Oh, yeah. What was that like? Is it really? Do you really not get any food? Do you really not? Do they not, when they're finished filming, just come and give you a load of food? That's the conversation I was having with a man inside my testicles. Oh, yeah. This stuff is real. Real life, real London. Proper busy. It's been speaking of hospitals, we'll talk about hospitals a bit later on. There was had a little hospital visit this week that didn't go quite as well. And you expect him to go in and go. Anyway, didn't go quite as well as I expected. We will talk about that a little bit later on. That's late night chat. That's late night chat about that. So that was one clip I found on that was one clip I found. Let me see if I can find another one. Hang on. Okay, calm down, dude. So what else did we find on Twitter this week? Cables. There's a lot of cables. There's a lot of that. There's me. There's a lot of... Oh, this is good. This is good. I like this guy. Who is this guy on the left? Actually, I want to see that one with Catherine. There's a few of these I want to see with Catherine because I think she'll find them funny. Talk about me maybe doing a new podcast. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Oh, have you seen this? Have you seen this? Oh, I can't do it now. So let me move here, right? Have you seen this? So, what do you see, right? You see two girls. I can't do it now. You see the two girls, right? I can't do it. Let me make it smaller. When I first saw this, because they're supposed to squint. Okay, there it is. I can see it. I wonder if I can see it when I make it bigger. So if you squint, there we go. I got it. It looks like David St. Hubbins from Spinal Tap. Can you see it? You got to squint. So, right, I'm going to explain it to you. For those that can't see it, I can see it better when it's smaller. I see it better when it's smaller. There we go. Right. So there's the mouth. There's the nose. There's the shadow. There's the eye. And it's like the hair's there. Can you see that? I think... Because the first time it scrolled up... By the way, listen to the podcast. Oh, this is great content, Iain. Yeah, we're definitely going to sign up for a Patreon when to get the podcast when all of it is visual. Blame Katherine. Blame Katherine Boyle. Quiet Bloke says, I couldn't see the two girls till I put my glasses on. Yeah, the first thing I saw was the man. Was the man. But yes, if you're concerned that this is all visual, dear podcasters, then for the love of God, blame Katherine Boyle. King Mike says, this works better than the Magic Eyes. I could never do the Magic Eyes. They were big around about 94, 95. They were big. You go around to someone's house, like student houses, and they were in a real mess. But they'd have on the wall, as well as Che Guevara, the Mona Lisa smoking a spliff, they would have the Magic Eye. And it was always the dolphin one. And I would just be there for ages going... And then eventually go, oh, yeah. Yeah, I can... Oh, yeah, I can see it. I couldn't see it. I just... Life was too short. Life was too short. Oh, this is great. This is great. Whoa, this is great. Hang on. This is great. So, Guy, what we'll do is we'll watch it, then I'll describe it for the podcasters, and then we're going to go to Neil. Here we go. Oh.
You're gonna know. Hey!
So, there's a man on what looks like the New York Underground, and it's moving, and it looks like it's leaving the station, and he is manually opening the door.
You're gonna know.
The door is open. The train is moving. He jumps out to the platform. goes for a Burton, just falls over completely. I take no pleasure in these things. I'm just your humble reporter. That's all I am, your humble reporter. And I've got a few more of those to show when Katherine gets in. But shall we get Neil in? Let me just set up my... here's the thing. Neil's setup is very, very professional. And this setup is, as you know, dear, you know this. Right? This setup is not professional. This setup is, let's say, people. I'm doing really well at not swearing, right? Psychedelic. I'm doing very well at not swearing at the moment. This is my new thing. We write our own scripts, says Fritz Perls. We write our own scripts. And my script now is, I don't swear anymore. I don't swear anymore. Here we go. This is very exciting. I'm a little bit... why is it doing that? Do that. Good evening, Neil.
Hello, Iain.
Oh, now, we can't see you.
Okay.
I've got a feeling that might be my problem, because I see my clients...
Oh, hang on.
Oh, he was nearly there. Oh, look at that!
Hello. How are we doing?
First of all, it's so... We haven't spoken face-to-face before, have we?
No, only in DMs over on Twitter. Yeah,
in DMs, and it's X. So lovely. X. I can't. I'm waiting for it to crash and burn even more. Oh, look, what perfect timing. Here comes Katherine Boyle. Let me just get her in. You're gonna have a hard time with Katherine, Neil. Mm-hmm. She, get this right, she thinks that old computers are boring. And hey, Katherine. Katherine, we can't hear you yet.
Yeah, this is outrageous. As a Spectrum user from back in the day, I think that's unfair.
We'll talk about Garfield. We'll talk about Garfield in a minute. Let me introduce Neil, because Neil is literally just this second. Come on.
Hi, Neil.
So Neil, Katherine. Neil is Retro Man Cave. I have to be careful how I phrase it, because there are so many kind of other ones that do different variations. Explain where you are, because this isn't your bedroom. Explain where you are and what's going on behind you.
It's not, and I'm going to feel terribly rude because I'm going to have to start you off with a correction, Iain.
Oh, go on.
Which is clearly a reflection that you've been binging on the old content, the Dragon 32, the BBC, and things like that. We actually rebranded from the Retro Man Cave.
Oh, no. Oh, God, this is awful. Go on.
Because we opened up as a public museum and we wanted it to be as inviting as possible, as inclusive. So it's just the cave here now, and the channel is YouTube RMC Retro. So
good, because I was going to pick you up for being exclusive. Hey, that's great. We're going to post all the links in the chat, so I appreciate that correction. So what is going on behind you? Where are you? What is it?
So I am in Stroud, down in Gloucestershire, and I am sat in an 18th century mill, which is supposedly haunted. So tell me if anything happens behind me. And on the top floor of this mill, I've created a computer and console museum off the back of the success of the YouTube channel. And about 90% of what you see in here is donated by the viewers of the channel, who send stuff in for us to fix, tell stories about, and make videos about. So that's what we do. And then off the back of that success, we've got a second museum downstairs, which is the Arcade Archive, which is all of those 70s and 80s arcade machines that we used to get on the seafront. So, yeah,
I love it. So the videos are so hypnotic. It's ASMR never worked for me, but I will happily sit and watch you taking tops off, blowing dust. Sorry, of the computers.
What kind of stream is this?
That's what you get with Patreon there. As a man who tried soldering twice and it was just awful, watching someone solder is so delicious. Let's go back to the beginning. Why did you do this? How did all of this start?
Completely by accident. I mean, like all good midlife crises, it started with a divorce, Iain. I needed to raise some funds, and I had a little retro collection. So I set up this YouTube channel with the sole purpose of making videos about what I needed to sell on eBay and posting those videos on eBay.
Oh.
So this was in 2010. It served its purpose. It raised the money, got to keep a roof over my head. Success. And then I forgot about the channel for about 7 years until I got that nostalgic bug, that itch again, which I know you've got as well with your dragon. I'm not sure about Catherine. She mentioned a Spectrum, but I don't know if it's
in my memory now. I certainly have not resurrected that bad boy.
So that came back, and I thought, I'll just check this channel that I set up ages ago, and there were a couple of thousand subscribers.
Wow.
Okay, well let's do something with this. So in my spare room, I started making videos about anything and everything to do with retro kit. And it took off from there. And the big one that really kind of launched the channel and got the momentum behind it was one of those repair episodes,
right,
which you describe as ASMR. I'm glad you described it with such passion, because there's sometimes a thin line between boring and ASMR. So I'm glad to hear I'm on the right side of that line.
Oh, totally, yes.
And it was the repair of a Commodore Amiga 500. Don't know how familiar you are with the Amiga.
Go on.
Yeah, the Amiga still has a very passionate and large following. So they all got behind that video, subscribed to the channel, and you know how it is with YouTube or any of these platforms. Once you get momentum, it starts to snowball, and it went from there.
What I love about some of the stuff on your channel is I know nothing about the Amiga. It did not impact on my life at all. I watched those ones of the Amiga being taken apart and cleaned and fixed. I watched the I can never remember what it's called. The Commodore Disk System, the CCTV. Is that what it?
CDTV. Yes.
I watched that, and it meant nothing to me at the time. But you make it so. First of all, you have high production values, which you're watching this crap, and you know that we don't. And we were laughingly professionals once. And a lot of channels on YouTube don't. So you have really high production values. It looks like it could be a TV show. They're that good. And you explain everything in a very calm, very measured way. You know, the idiots like me can understand. And yeah, why would I be interested in an Amiga? I'm not really, but I watched those videos and really, really enjoyed it. Really, really enjoyed it. And I'm guessing you get people like that who join you for, I don't know, I watched the Sinclair QL one the other day, who join you for the Commodore 64, but then stick around for the other machines.
Absolutely. I mean, I seen somebody, I think Graham Campbell in the chat there, says his first computer was a Mattel Aquarius, which is like the CDTV, is an example of an absolute flop, a complete failure of a machine. And it's these machines that have the most interesting stories. Why did it fail?
Yeah.
Who thought it was a good idea? Why were they pumping money into this thing? I'm exactly the same with other channels. I'll watch for hours videos about US spy planes that I know nothing about, but you just get sucked into the story and you enjoy them. And I think the same can apply to absolutely anything. If there's a story there to be told and you can tell it well, then people will stick around. So that's what I try to do.
I've always been a gamer. In television, the Dragon 32, all the little mini Munchman, all the small little handhelds. And Catherine, I always forget that you were kind of a gamer as well. And every time you tell me, I'm like, oh God, yeah, that's so surprising. But you did.
I sat in my bedroom copying out reams and reams of BBC programme for nothing to happen. I was given this really complicated book, like this thick, it was a Sherlock Holmes mystery or something. I think I managed him walking through the door. It was an absolute flop, but it kept me busy. But my Spectrum, oh my God, I wasted so much time on that thing. I used to play show jumping, Saboteur, which we've played on
Saboteur,
great game.
What a game! That show jumping was a wonderful game, despite the fact it was so simple. But yeah, I absolutely loved it. I loved that thing.
I've got one for you here, Catherine. There's a copy of Manic Miner. I don't know if you had that on your ZX Spectrum. Yeah.
What a game! But I tell you something though, I will never ever get over the disappointment of Garfield. What were we supposed to do?
Are you aware of the Garfield conundrum, Neil?
What's the conundrum? No.
You just walk inside and then you walk outside and there's no point to it whatsoever.
It's a bit like Little Computer People. I don't know if you ever played that game. You just look at a house and there's a little guy that walks around. You don't control him. You just watch him go about his day. And that's it. Supposedly it's the origins of The Sims and bigger things. But when I went and bought that with all the pocket money I had on my bike and rode home furiously to play this game, and you can't even play it.
Yeah.
But we accepted it back then, Here's another example.
Go on.
I had on my Amstrad, animal, mineral, vegetable. The computer simply tries to guess if you're thinking of an animal, mineral, or vegetable. That's it.
And how accurate is it? I suppose with only those three options,
it worked somehow. There was some magic in there. Yeah.
What's that app? The where you have to think of a celebrity and it will.
Oh, the genie thing.
The genie dude, because the boys went through a big thing of using me, and they kept going, "He's guessed you, Daddy." You, Catherine, are watching my descent into retro madness.
I mean, I get it up to a point, but obviously there's a little ADHD in there as well. So you're on your own, kid. But I'm glad you're enjoying yourself.
But I did see you, Iain, musing on Twitter that you were considering a retro podcast.
I am. Here's the thing. This all started. I'll tell you when this started. February were we in Liverpool in February? Mm-hmm. We're in Liverpool. We went into a junk shop, and in the corner, hidden, all dusty, was a Dragon 32, and that was my first computer.
And he resisted.
I resisted.
And he said, "Look at this, Catherine. It's growth."
But then I came home and I just kept looking on eBay, going, I can't do it. It wasn't even a great computer, but it was my first one. I have a lot of memories. Then I kind of discovered you, and then I got my BBC out of the garage, my little Gotek drive I bought and never used, and then I just went, stuff it, and I bought a Dragon, and it came, and I tried to set it up with a, excuse me for a second, Catherine, with a Coco SDC, which I couldn't get to work, and here's what's great, and I'll talk about the potential podcast in a moment. The retro gaming community, and I'm sure there are aspects that are a little bit snarky, but I have been embraced on Facebook forums, in Discord channels. There's a lovely gentleman, Here Be Dragons, who got in touch, saw my Dragon wasn't working. He said, "I'll fix it." I said, "Well, how much do you want?" He said, "Oh, no, I'll do it for free." Of course, I can't let him do it for free, and I will reimburse. But it seems, maybe if I dig a bit deeper, it seems a very supportive community with lots of lovely. Go on, Catherine.
I was going to say, if you listen very carefully, you'll hear distant voices saying, "One of us, one of us."
But do you find that, Neil, the support that this community has?
It is incredibly supportive. You've got all these little groups within the systems that they enjoy and they want to support and develop for. But as a whole, they all support one another. There are expos up and down the country throughout the year. The last one I went to was a couple of months back. It was called Kickstart, and it was an Amiga expo held at the Notts County Football Ground.
Beautiful.
And it had, I think, 600 people turned out for that. So, this is a pretty big gathering, including, people that used to work at Commodore back in the day, new developers, things like that. So, the communities are just buzzing. It really is. I think we're sort of hitting the stride of nostalgia, of people hitting a certain age when they pine for simpler days, simpler times. In a previous generation, that might have been train sets or Subbuteo or Scalextrics. And it just so happens now it's the retro computers that we grew up with.
I hope there's a Dragon 32 meetup in Cambridge in October, and I'm really hoping I don't have the kids that weekend, because they like their retro, but a whole day in a room full of dragons, I think, will be pushing an 11 and 13-year-old too much. So I'm hoping to go. Very quickly, thinking of doing a podcast? Yeah, I am. And what I'm deliberately not doing is I'm taking everything so slowly, because I don't want this to be an ADHD, I've got to do this and buy this and do all of that. So I'm taking it very slowly. Mm-hmm. But I am... I have a history with kind of gaming with Thumb Candy and with Thumb Bandits, and I did a podcast for MSN. So I have a connection. And so I'm tempted to do, inspired by you, also really, really inspired, and I know you pop up in their chat from some time, the Amigos.
Oh, they're brilliant. Yes, they deserve a much bigger following than they have over
and
there.
I got into them through the Coco show, which is a Dragon 32 thing. And my God, it's so niche, but they're so good. Bo and Aaron and Brent, my boys really laugh because they go, "Dad, you can put on your boring podcast in the car if you want," and they find it hilarious. And Catherine's watched some of it with me. Those guys are great, right?
Yeah, they just do deep dives into the most obscure systems and games, that you've never heard of, and you get sucked into their stories as well. Yeah, great guys. Yeah, really nice. We have a podcast that I actually started with Boat a couple of years back called This Week in Retro, and then Boat is a teacher, and he just found he didn't have enough time, so that moved sideways to a couple of other presenters joined me. So that's still ongoing now. So Iain, if you get your podcast together, and we can help you launch it. Come
you.
and be a guest.
I would love to be a guest. And Boat's gone into the priesthood now. He's
has he?
Yeah, he's stepping away from those. I would love to. What I want to do is I want to make it. I want to get the right idea for the podcast. I want to make it me. I want to make sure I'm not treading on anyone else's toes because I don't want that. Back to you, Neil. What was your first machine?
I've got a picture here. This is Christmas 1985. Can you see what that is?
The Amstrad
With
Steve PC 464.
You got it, with the velvet curtains there.
What year Christmas was that, sorry?
1985. So that was Alan Sugar's machine. First game I loaded on it, Roland on the Ropes.
Oh, wow.
I saw someone mention Harrier Attack in the chat. That was probably the second game I loaded on it. So yeah, I was an Amstrad CPC guy, and then on to the Amiga after that, and then the PC.
And it's wild to think how Britain was leading the way, but was also quite separate from the rest of the world. You know, the Spectrum, I think, broke into America a bit, the Commodore, but we were doing all this incredible stuff. There was like 3, 4, 5 years when everything was moving so fast in the UK. It's incredible.
You had that original trilogy in the US of the Apple II, the TRS-80, and the Commodore PET, and they were expensive. And that kind of set the precedent in the US of a computer's going to cost you $1,000 or so. But we had Sinclair over here with his sub £100 machines, and that set the precedent for here. So everyone had to follow, including the American companies like Commodore with the Commodore 64. They had to compete. They had to come over here with a competitive price. So yeah, we had a very different ecosystem of micros, which led to things like the Dragon 32, which didn't last, and other machines like that. But ultimately, I mean, we look at these things through rose-tinted glasses. We look back at them and we enjoy them. But if you think about how it was at the time, we were pining for cross-compatibility. We wanted to, I would have wanted to play Katherine Spectrum games on my Amstrad, and it just wouldn't work. So ultimately, we came to that point with IBM PCs where it was all became a standard. But it then became quite boring. Those were exciting times, that wild west world of 8 and 16-bit machines. Yeah.
Catherine, when did you get your Spectrum? Was it like a Christmas present for you and your sister?
It was a Christmas present for us. My sister was not interested at all, I don't think. Either that or I just did not share. But I seem to remember it was me that spent quite a lot of time in that spare room with that machine.
And was it the old rubber keyed one?
Yes, it made a great sound.
The dead flesh keys.
Yeah, sort of thok, thok, thok.
Here's the Amstrad, which is known for being incredibly long. It's a very long micro. Fit it in the frame.
Isn't it weird to think Alan Sugar for a moment was pushing the boundaries of computer technology for about 30 seconds? Do you remember when was it when he released telephones that had Spectrum games on?
Yeah, the Amstrad emailer.
Is that what that was? That was real.
Yeah, they were around for a while. You could send your emails on them, and then it had a Z80 CPU in there, and you could play Spectrum games, but I think you had to pay by the minute to play Jet Set Willy. Like £1 a minute or something.
David Turner's from the Computer Game Show. I don't know if you're aware of that podcast. He asks, what was the first game you ever completed?
Oh, wow. That's a tough one because I'll be honest, a lot of my games were pirated. And when you copy games, you don't put as much effort into them as if you'd put your hard-earned money into them. But it was probably something like one of the Ultima games, Ultima 6 or something like that, one of those RPGs that would have spent days and days and days to get through. Yeah,
I never completed games. And Catherine, maybe I've told you. So I completed my first game about 2 years ago, let's say a year ago, and it was Way Out, the prison escape game. And me and Catherine tried to play it, but she was...
It was no thanks to me, Neil.
Well, first of all, did you ever get your internet sorted out? Because the internet kept dropping.
Yeah, it was the internet's fault. It was also the fact that I'm not used to playing games. I mean, I'm proper old school. I'm not used to playing games where you got to operate the camera as well, right? So I spent a lot of time looking upwards.
Operate the camera.
Or walking into corners.
Look around?
But you were...
Show me the man to the side. That's how I work.
But I completed it. I suppose he would, with my youngest, he would have been 10 then. And we started playing it. And once you get to the third MF, it was like, hey, he's heard it now. If you're playing at home, please turn the subtitles off so your mum can't, terrible parenting. But that was the first game that we played it again the other week because he wanted to play it again. That was the first game I completed. I was never a completer. I'd play it, then something else would come along, and pirating was the thing. Once the tape, I remember having two cassette players and pressing play on one and record on the other, playing it really loud and going out of the room to see if that would work. I miss the days of piracy like that. I wouldn't condone it now, of course, but back then, that's and companies were still making millions of pounds.
It's all too convenient now just to spend a couple of quid on Steam and download it. I mean, what's the point of going to the effort of pirating something now? So they've won. But it was terrible. Back in the day, my dad was a policeman, and the majority of the pirated software I had came through the local police station.
Wow.
Including photocopied manuals. That's how accepted piracy was.
Nigel says, I remember when LBC, the radio station, used to play games on the radio. You'd record them, then load them up. I don't remember that. I do remember a program on ITV over the credits playing that. And you had to record that. Those days were wild.
There are some crazy formats. There are ZX Spectrum games on vinyl records.
Yes, but one of them done by a good friend of mine, Chris Seavey, who became Frank Sidebottom. Yeah.
Yes. So he did that. There used to be TV shows where they would just blink a light at the top right-hand corner, and you'd buy your magazine, and it would tell you the electronics to make a device you would tape to the side of your television, and it would watch the blinking light. So it's the ones and the zeros blinking away, and that would feed into your BBC Micro and load a game.
Wow.
There are all kinds of mad ways of distributing software. Yeah.
We went through a thing recently, Catherine, of playing some Spectrum games and some BBC games on the emulator. My favourite from that was Bob's Full House. Do you remember? I don't know if you remember any that we played, Catherine. What, if any, stood
Granny's
out?
Garden is still laughing at me because we had to queue up to play that game at school. There were like 4 computers and 30 kids, and I never got very far with it. But I always thought I'm just within a hair's breadth of getting somewhere with it. It was such a good game, but actually when we played it again, it was crap, wasn't it?
Well, that witch is still pretty scary.
Yeah, terrifying.
Granny's Garden is fiercely protected by copyright. It's still released. They still have versions of it for Windows, and if you try and share that game, even the old versions, they'll come for you.
Isn't that interesting? How do you feel about emulation and stuff like that? Because for a while, I can see the copyright argument, but I think with games that are like 30, 40 years old, I see it more as like a digital preservation thing instead. No, I can't believe anyone's making money on Granny's Garden these days, but I kind of see it as a preservation of this stuff.
Yeah, I think it is, because it's not just about the games. It's about preserving the experience of playing them. It's one thing watching a Let's Play on YouTube and seeing someone play it through. It's a completely different thing trying it out for yourself. And yeah, emulation enables that. And I think it's really important.
And it's amazing. Some of the slightly more recently, my kids played Choo Choo Rocket a while ago on the Dreamcast. Loved it. Chucky Egg. Loved it on the BBC. So a lot of that, a lot of the games on the Dragon are crap.
Well, you've got Chucky Egg on the Dragon there. That's the Dragon version.
Oh, look at that! I was playing that a couple of days ago. What a game!
It's a popular one here. Yeah, everyone plays it and asks for it when they visit.
You talk about stuff being donated, and there are a few videos on your channel of people donating. Like a van full, 2 cars. There's a couple you've gone up with your car, the estate car, and it's not fitted in. Why do people do that? It seems incredibly generous. What are they getting out of it, do you think?
It is, and they're fully aware that this stuff has value. They could put it on eBay and earn some money from it. But I think it's just the thought that other people are going to get to enjoy it, because invariably people don't have a space like this. It's all in their loft. It's all in their garden shed. So the thought of it being out for other people to enjoy, I think, is what appeals. And I'm happy to enable that. And often they'll follow that up with a trip here to actually see it in action. And I'll feed them coffee and muffins and show them around. So, I think it's a nice thing.
Favorite. Here we go. I think I know what the answer to the second one will be. Favorite game and favorite machine.
Favorite game, Ultima 7.
Okay.
Don't know if you've ever played that one. Favorite machine it's the Amiga 500, just because, it's what I had in my teenage years. It was such a creative machine. Let me grab something over here. A couple of years back, we made a vinyl record with a musician called Hoffman, and he made all of the music. There it is.
Oh, wow.
On an Amiga 600. He's an incredibly talented musician. We made this double vinyl record, and if you didn't know it, you wouldn't guess that was made on a 16-bit computer with a sound chip from 1985. It's just great music, and that's what I was doing in the early 90s, tinkering around making jungle music on my Amiga.
Wow.
But plugging my Walkman in, sampling little clips of music, remixing it on the Amiga. It was such a creative machine.
Talking about being creative on the BBC and buying games that you can't really play. There was, Catherine, many years ago, there was, for the BBC, there was a cassette called Speech. And what it made it so your BBC could talk, right? And I think
I bet that was abused, wasn't it?
Well, it was either $7.99 or $9.99. It wasn't a cheap one. And I remember I sent my parents were going to Slough, and I said, "Could you get Speech for me, please?" And they went, "Okay, well that's your game for the month." I went, "Yeah, fine." I came, you loaded it up, and I got it to say my name. I got it to say the F word.
Of course you did.
And then there was nothing else to do with it. I never got used. But when I loaded it up. I loaded it up a week ago. I did exactly the same. I got it to say my name. I got it to say the F word. And it was like, okay, done with that. Done with that. Neil, you mentioned YouTube. You mentioned podcasts. So let's point people in the direction of where they can find out more stuff, where they can hear you. I've started listening to This Week in Retro as well. It's great. Who are the two gentlemen that you're doing that with?
Dave, who's up in Scotland, and Chris, who's down in Australia. So, and we have guests from time to time. So we try to get a world view from as many people as possible about their experiences of retro. Yeah,
it's a lovely podcast. This Week in Retro. Give us all the gubbins. What else is going on for you right now?
Okay, so you can find me on any social media sites. Just look for RMC Retro. We are in the... Oh, Dave's in the chat there. Dave Velociraptor. He's the co-host.
I'm not a gentleman, he said. I won't do the accent, Dave. That's how much I've matured. I won't do the accent.
We're in the process of setting up a repair business here. So people can bring their kit along and get it fixed. So that's being piloted at the moment. Basically, everything we do here now falls under this umbrella of the Retro Collective. So off the success of what I was doing, we had more space at the mill, and I wanted to invite other people to kind of get a boost up with what they were doing if it complemented what I was doing. And in return, they'll be successful. Everyone wins. So we've got the Arcade Archive under the Retro Collective. We've got a company called Heba, who actually own the mill, so I should say they've got us. And they are an electronics firm who are developing retro consoles, including a new one called the Console 8, which comes out soon. And you're like
that?
this.
Goes to Google it.
Okay, you're like this.
Ian,
you won't
no.
find anything yet.
Oh, okay.
As soon as you turn it on, it goes to a BBC Basic prompt. And you just start programming BBC Basic. Program your games. So look out for the Console 8. So we're working with them.
Find that Sherlock Holmes book.
So we've got new retro products. We've got the museums here you can visit. Just go to retrocollective.co.uk. We've got workshops, including a soldering one if you want to come and learn how to solder.
I fitted here we go. I did it before the show, Catherine. I fitted
I know you did. I saw
an SSD memory to my computer, and I haven't screwed in the graphics card. I need to do that, Catherine. So you have to talk a bit. The tiniest little screw, and I just kept saying, "Don't lose it, don't lose it." I lost it. Managed to find it, and and that was enough for me. Soldering is like speaking, speaking Greek or Chinese. Never going to happen. Can't do it. But well done for trying for at least nudging me.
Catherine, you look like you just want to scream.
He said to me, "Tell me not to do it before the show because I'm going to mess my computer up." I said, "Don't do it before the show." And then I saw him talking about it on Twitter, and I went, "We've lost him."
I had 20 minutes.
What could possibly go wrong?
Sorry, Neil, carry on. You were telling us what's going on.
That's it, really. Yeah, retrocollective.co.uk. Workshops, we have guest speakers. We're trying to persuade Iain to come and be a guest speaker. He expressed an interest, but I think you're a very busy man.
Well, no, it's. I tell you what it is. I'm definitely coming down at some point. I don't know if I can make the 24th. I'm kind of having a reunion with a couple of friends. I'm definitely coming down at some point, and that's not bullshine. That's going to happen. I was thinking, you have like proper speakers, and I think I don't know if I have anything to say. So I'm trying to think, but I don't think, you know, there'll be proper people there.
Proper person. We were talking about perhaps the history of video game TV and Thumb Bandits and things like that. I mean, one of the most popular guests that we've had remotely, because he lives in Canada now, was Dominic Diamond talking about the old Games Master days. And you know, he's not a hardcore gamer, he's a presenter, but he had an insight into that side of things, you know, a TV show that we all remember so fondly. So, you know, you could give us some insights into, you know, the gritty world of video game TV.
You ever, speaking of Manic Miner, you ever met Matt Smith or spoken to him?
I have. He was at an expo about 4 years ago. Interesting gentleman.
How's he doing? Because I interviewed him in 2000. We kind of found him after he'd been disappeared.
That's right. You're one of the only people to have properly interviewed him, aren't you? Yes.
And I feel really bad because we did it it was in a bedroom in a real house, but we made it look like it was 1982. And Matthew, you know, he was like 16, Catherine, wrote Manic Miner, made about £250,000 and was not given guidance on what to do with that money. And he had mental health issues. He took a lot of LSD and he kind of struggled for a few years. But people watched that and went, oh my God, I can't believe his bedroom is still like that. And it wasn't meant to be a stitch up. It was, I felt a little bit bad about that. He's doing all right, is he?
He's doing all right. You know, he was up on stage. He did a presentation about an hour long with a couple of guys. So, you know, he was well enough to do that.
Good. I like that guy. I'm definitely coming down at some point. There is a Patreon as well. What is the Patreon?
Patreon.com/RMC Retro. And you get sort of monthly updates, a bit of behind the scenes stuff. You know how it works. Early access to videos, all of that good stuff.
Patreon.com/RMC Retro. That's in the chat if people want to go on.
You get discounts on tickets to come and visit, and you get first dibs on guest speaker events.
Neil, it's so lovely to meet you. I'm going to be honest, and I'm not taking the pay out because I've watched you so much recently. There's a little bit of being starstruck around you, so I really appreciate you coming on. I think the work that you do is great. It's going to end up costing me a lot of time and money. So thanks a lot for that. That's appreciated. And you know, Catherine. Catherine is my voice of reason. I will go to her and go, do I need to buy this? And she'll go, no, I don't think you do. And then 2 days later, she'll come in and sit on my kitchen table and go, you bought it. You bought it. Neil, it's so lovely to meet you. We will meet face to face at some point. I'm definitely coming down there, whether it's for an event or it's for a coffee or an open day or whatever it shall be.
Yep, you're both always welcome. And thank you so much for having me on.
It's lovely to see you, mate.
Thanks,
Speak again
Neil.
soon. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Now we have the awkward thing. Does he leave or do I kick him out? I never know the Zoom. I'm going to let him leave. There we go. What a nice guy, right?
So nice. So nice.
And this is why I knew you'd enjoy talking to him because, he can go super geeky and super technical, but also his videos explain it all in a really gentle way where knowledge is not necessarily, absolute pleasure, Neil, knowledge is not necessarily required.
Yeah. But that's the best podcasts. I found myself listening to podcasts I didn't know I was interested in.
Yeah.
Because of the personality of the presenter. I can listen to all kinds of stuff, you know me.
The YouTube channel's like really proper. Like film proper, he presents proper. I feel
what? How'd you do that?
It's like, you know, I'm surprised the TV station hasn't picked it up. TV station, how old am I? Because it's you know, it's there, it's made, it's ready to go. Anyway, that's by the by.
Whoever understood those guys.
Whoever understood TV. Do check it out. Go and have a look at the channels. Thank you for the correction on the name. That is appreciated. And I'm just loving it. I'm going down. The annoying thing is the 24th they're having a patron day, and I'm going to be in. Is it Bath or Bristol? I never know. Bath that day, and I was kind of hoping I was going to be in Bath on the Saturday, stay there, and go to Stroud. But it's one of the other two people I'm going to be meeting would not want to come at all. One of them would a lot.
Yeah, I know. I know those people. I think
you know those. You know those guys. The this week in retro, I've only just started listening to them, and it's great. I've now got too many podcasts. I'm going to have to ditch got to ditch a couple of podcasts because I got too many. Computer Game Show, This Week in Retro, The Coco Show, Al Sinclair. I'm going to have to do. Harsh is saying, let's do a TLNA road trip to the museum. I'm kind of tempted.
What, and hire a charabanc or some such?
You said charabanc.
Yes.
You don't mention the C at the end. Isn't it a charabanc?
Depends how posh you are.
Is it? Right. David says, well, it's been fun. Goodbye, guys.
It's from Chariot à Banc, isn't it? It's from Chariot with benches.
Of course it's from Chariot à Banc. Here's something, right? So one of my topics today was going to be, you don't see spilt paint anymore. You see spilt paint on the floor a lot, right? And
yes,
sometimes you'd walk in it.
Yes.
Or you get it on your bike wheels and it's like, you walk it in the house.
Yes.
You don't see spilt paint anymore. What's happened there?
What I used to love was when you'd see little paws running out of it.
Yeah, oh no. Why are people more careful with spilt paint? And then it hit me. Is it spilt or spilled?
I think both work.
Oh no, I hate that when that happens.
Uh-huh.
Why do they do that with words? Why do they do that? Because spilt,
I'm going to say the Americans.
Spilt, S-P-I-L-T, and I really need the toilet.
Oh, speaking of spillages.
Spilt, S-P-I-L-T. That doesn't look like a word, but you pronounce it spilt. S-P-I-L-L-D looks like a word, but what's going on with the
it's
spilled?
Like spoiled and spoilt.
Yeah.
No, you know?
Spoiled,
yeah, it is.
Spoiled is the word. Spoiled isn't.
Whenever I write spoiled, I feel like
you said
I spelled it wrong.
You said ride first.
Whenever I ride spoiled.
If I ride spoiled. I really need a wee-wees.
Okay.
And then I need to screw in my graphics card.
No, you don't. You can wait.
It's hanging by the membrane. Insane in the membrane.
I'll tell you what's hanging by its membrane. This show. So if you wouldn't mind, go and drain the main vein and then come back.
Oh, God, that was an awful phrase.
I don't know whether he told you why I was so late, and apologies for that. I know that the whole thing went to pot without me. But this morning, about 11 o'clock, Willow ran in through the cat flap as if someone had set fire to her tail. And I was behind her and she ran up towards my eldest bedroom. I saw her push the door open with the right paw and thrust herself underneath the bed. And I thought something has happened here. And I could hear her. She was panting. See her panting. The cat, not the kid. And we were laughing about how she'd like forced her way in there. But then we were thinking, what the hell's gone on with her? So I said, I'll just leave her. She's probably, someone's put a boot up her backside or something. She'll be back. But she came out and she's got a little gouge out the side of her. Call it a flank on a cat? Like where her hip is. Would you call it a hip? She's got two, I guess. You know what I mean? So she had like a little gouge out there. And we thought that finally maybe she'd met her match because she struts around this street like she owns it. I'm just talking about Willow's injury.
Oh God, yes. This is why we have the exclamation mark donate. It's for vet bills because we've both been stung. You're soaking wet, Pat Pats. Goodbye.
So yeah, she had a little sort of gouge, and there was blood, but it was about sort of a 5-penny piece, but all the fur around it was matted, and I thought, oh God.
You were saying she'd been shot by a BB gun. This is America
round.
in the 1980s.
It was a perfectly round hole.
Amazing Pillock says, I think more presenters should go for a wee live. I agree.
Yeah.
I think James O'Brien should go for a... James O'Brien is catheterized for the show. Did you know that?
I thought it was a diaper situation.
No, that's Ferrari. For all of the shit he produces. Continue with your story.
So we left her for a while. I rang the vet straight away and they said they couldn't fit us in till 6:30. And so that's what we took. And that's
Can I just say very quickly, all of the RMC Retro fans, it's all downhill from here.
Yeah, we saw cats now.
Thank you so much for coming to see Neil. You're very welcome to stay. It's all downhill from here. So honestly, we won't think any less of you if you go, I'm going to talk about cat wounds all night. Oh yeah, we can do that.
You want to slink out? That's cool.
Please do.
So yeah, I took her in, and there were a load of dogs in there. There was a lot of panting going on. The dogs.
Quickly, Bastard Sprinkler says, I cam for cats. I'm assuming he means came, but cam makes it sound like he does sexy cat streams for cats watching.
You like these dreamies, do you, big boy?
I will not interrupt anymore. Go.
Took her to the vets. They had a look. I thought she'd had a scrap. Turns out she's caught herself on something pointed, a pointed stick, if you will. So they've given her a pain-killing injection, and they've given me meds to give her tomorrow.
Tablets?
No, liquid. Because
I see. You put it in the food?
Yeah, because she was for once, she was her grouchy self with them. Because what normally happens is I take her in, I go, she can be a bit of a handful, and she's like, she respects the uniform. And they look at me like, what are you? What's the matter with you? You're frightened of your own cat. But I'll say, no, she can be a bit of a handful.
So no anyway, surgery or anything?
No, she has had a little bit of a shave.
I love the shave.
She's got a slight undercut going on. She's rocking it. And she is embarrassed. But she's had a painkiller, and she came back and she ate her dinner, because I had to trick her by saying, dinner time. And then I threw a towel over her and wrapped her and bundled her into the cat box. Because she knew something was going on. She saw the towel at first, and she's like, aha. She couldn't resist that food. So anyway, I got her home. She's eaten, and she's slunk off somewhere now, and she's probably not very happy with me. But she's got antibiotics and painkillers. And I have to take a picture of her on Monday before I go off to my new job.
Thermometer up the bum?
Thermometer up the bum.
You're supposed to say no thanks, Iain.
No harm done. I did say to the vet, I talk too much. As the vet did, I went, not even a drink first, Willow.
So just go back to the thing you said before, not even a drink. What did you say?
Thermometer up the bum, no harm done.
After that,
what?
You said, I talk too much. You've never admitted that before. Well done. That's the first step to recovery, admitting you have a problem.
Oh, I didn't say it was a problem. It's a fact. So yeah, inappropriate with the vet, tick, and home we came. 158 quid.
Oh, that's not bad.
For drugs and a shave.
Yeah,
that's a bargain.
I've spent 1,200 quid recently. You know the amount of insurance I got back.
Yeah.
Dave says it happens that we're all cat fans in our RMC. Neil has a cat called Gizmo. You've got Johnny and Dot. Pillock has Fidget. Well, I've got 4. I did have 5. I've got 4 now. Lucky has been out for the first time since her adventures. Well, yeah.
Cat hair?
Quite possibly. But they're soaking wet and I don't know where they are. They're all being very, very weird. But she's okay. She's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And of course, Monday, Katherine starts her brand new job. Whoop, 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 whoop. The pizza's on her.
I don't know what an inset day is. I've been speaking to the head of department, and he says, oh, yeah, just a bit of admin and some training. I mean, and then I'll be a teacher, apparently. So looking forward to that.
Are you feeling nervous?
Yeah, because I really would have liked to have done some swatting up over the summer. And I did say to them, do I need to read anything? Is there anything I need to? And they're like, no, it's all right. We'll work it out when we get there. Okay, I mean, okay, if you're cool with that.
Okay. Oh, someone's talk more about the cats, because
Oh,
John
do you wanna
Harris has
see-
just donated £10 towards the bill. Thank you, John.
Do you want to see my largest cat, Yoshi? Hang on. Come here, Yosh Bosh.
Pats, where's Lucky and Mucky? Come here, darling. Size of that, bloody hell.
This is Yoshi.
Compare that with my smallest cat, Patty, who cost me £9,000 to get her fixed. That's a story for another day. Most of you know it. £9,000.
Look at that belly.
Look at those eyes. Why are you doing this to me?
He doesn't mind.
Sweet little girl. Hello, sweet.
Really soft, those cats, in terms of temperament and bellies. You try stroking your average cat's belly, they will not have it, will they?
No, they will
These
not.
are like dogs.
Hello, Pats.
I've got his sister as well, Yoko.
Can I show you some lovely things I found on Twitter?
Yes, and also, did you see I sent an email to the TLNA email address with lots of TikTok vids?
I did see it. I haven't opened it yet. Let's.
It's a smorgasbord.
Okay. I'm going to share the screen. This always goes so well.
Smooth.
Just bear with me, guys. Just bear with me, because so share screen.
Oh, by the way, well
sound.
done for fixing your computer. I can only equate it to the satisfaction I felt when I fixed my freezer.
Do you know what I did? I played Imani super loud. 'Cause the first thing I tried to drag something into my 2 terabyte new memory that I've called cat pictures. And the first thing I drew was an old show of ours, and it starts off with Imani. So, sorry, I'm just struggling. I'll go to Zoom screen. I need to do this, and I need to make you bigger.
Bigger still.
And so I was blasting Imani super, super loud. Of course, something will go wrong, and I will not have screwed it in properly, and it will overheat, and it will explode. But until then, I'm enjoying it.
Just ride that victory, man. Ride it.
Ride that victory. We'll talk about it's not been the best week. We'll talk about the hospital in a little bit. But before that, let's look. I found some nice things, and there were a couple. We looked at a couple before you joined.
Oh.
But there was some that I wanted to watch with you. So, we saw Kim, my 11-and-a-half-year-old. His favorite film is Jaws 2. His second favorite film is Jaws 4. His third favorite film is Jaws. So there's a great cinema. Oh, I've got to show you a picture of an absolute geezer I met as well. There's a great cinema in St Albans called The Odyssey. And I was just thinking, it'd be nice to see Jaws in the cinema. And lo and behold, there was one 45 minutes away from me that was showing Jaws in 2 weeks' time. It's this amazing old cinema that they've refurbished. And it's gone upstairs, but the downstairs, it's tables.
Yeah.
And you book a table and you get 4 chairs around the table. They bring you cheese boards. I mean, this is deadly to me, literally. They bring you cheese boards, and it was so good. First of all, it was so good being there, but it's also really, really good seeing a film that so I'm just trying to find a picture that I'm going to share with you. Seeing a film that you know so well in a cinema with other people. It was absolutely fantastic. What an experience!
And of course, this is hot on the heels of our night at Bruce Lee, which was just that as well. People applauding and laughing in the right places.
I can't find this.
You know, there's another cinema, another Art Deco cinema. I think it might be owned by the same people that own the Odyssey. It's in Berkhamsted, and it's called the Rex.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's great. I've been up in the projection room, and it's just like the one from Cinema Paradiso. I was obsessed with it. It was great. And the people that run it it just put the idea into my head that if I had loads of money and and absolutely nothing else to do with it, then I would love to have an art house cinema. It was just so wonderful.
Yeah, years and years ago, I wanted to have an art centre. We used to call it an art centre.
Yeah.
When we did, I was telling the boys that they said, "How much do you think it will cost to rent this film to show it to people?" And I said, "Oh, I know, because we used to do a cinema club."
Yeah.
And I said, for us to rent a film for 50 people, we had to pay £150 annual membership, and it cost I don't actually remember. It's like 80 quid or something. So I said, right, so times that by, to make it 500, and it would probably be this much to show a film. But that was a fun little thing that we did, didn't it? That was great.
It was great, yeah.
We got the venue for free. It's great until the venue starts saying, "Can we have some money?" And we go, okay. Well, that's enough of that. Right, so let me show you a couple of things. Oh, here we go. This was good. This was on an ice cream van in Aylesbury.
Oh, we do love it when people have a little go, don't we? To fill out the copyright.
Certain kids, the parents of kids of a certain age will kind of almost recognise this. Lonely God Dave came up with the best name, Paw Patrol, Poor, Paw Patrol. But I like that a lot. That was awful.
Yeah.
Are these the liked things? We want no, we want. Look, I'm on the wrong thing. That's why we can't find anything. So a few of these. Whoa! I want you to. Hang on a minute. So. Oh gosh! I didn't realise that was there. That's not what we're looking at.
How could you miss it?
Look at this young man
It's the
jumping off a
hungriest
boat.
bottom I've seen for ages. Oh, mate.
I really love stuff. Let's just slow it down a little bit. Oh. Boom. That's not the best one I've got. I've got some good stuff to show you here. Gosh, that bottom is very hungry, isn't it?
Starving.
Oh, this is great. Did you see this?
No.
Wait for the result. This is amazing, right? So this is a guy, he's making like a video, and he's doing all this weird stuff. You think, well, how is this going to look? He's doing transitions, right? The end result is amazing. We just some really simple stuff. So watch this. See, all this stuff you think, what? How is this going to look? But the end result is amazing. Let's have the start again. I won't interrupt this time.
Oh.
Here it comes, right? Mind-blowing. Made me laugh so much. Made me laugh so much when I saw that. It's the crotch shot. It's the crotch shot that does it. It's that. That really tickled my pickle. There is more.
Speaking of pickles.
There's me getting help with that. We've watched that one, the guy falling down the stairs.
Oof.
That's fun. Cables. Computers. Old man.
The contents of your mind.
Yeah. Oh, who is this? We've seen a video by this guy on the left before, right? Who is he? Anyway, this is great. So here we go.
That's me. What you doing with all them Rubik's cubes, man?
Oh yeah, we have seen him before.
What are you doing with all those Rubik's cubes,
man? I've been trying to get one. That's why I couldn't find one. You got them all. What you doing?
His face. It's that moment of realization.
How you do that? How much time did that take? I got so many questions.
Wow.
Gorgeous.
That's incredible.
Oh my God, that made me laugh so much.
I think the last time we saw it, it was like someone icing a cake, wasn't it?
Something like
what
that.
What are you doing?
Have you seen this one?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
weird, isn't it?
That's weird. I've seen that. Oh, okay, here we go. Watching Scream
Yes.
2 and once again blown away by how the drunken bowl man steals the scene with such aplomb. So it's this guy here.
Yeah. What?
When my kids pretend to be drunk, that's what they do. That's what they do. Podcasters, we are watching a crowd scene.
Is that
Go
Justin Bateman? Who is this guy?
What, the bowl guy?
No, the guy with the blue checked shirt. Because he looks like he's clocked him.
Oh, I can't see his face, unfortunately, from the angle.
Oh right, yeah, he's underneath. He's underneath us.
I wonder, there might be. Oh, that's good. You seen that?
Yeah.
That's weird, right?
Mm.
There's a face there. But basically, for the podcasters, there's a picture of. I don't know if you use the word slums anymore. I don't know if that may be offensive, but actually, it looks like a face. That's weird.
Someone's messed with that. That can't
It
be
only
right.
dawned on me. I watched a film called Beau is Afraid, right? Or rather, it watched me for 3 hours. And in it, there's one of those pictures that's like that, like the Rubik's Cube thing. It's a portrait of someone, but it's made up of tiny pictures.
Oh yeah.
And it only dawned on me watching that film because they looked at it and they did close. I thought, oh, they cheat. They color each picture. It's not like, oh, we've got these pictures that they color them. It's a cheat. What waste of my life?
It's still very, very creative.
It's not.
I quite like the toast portraits that you can get.
What are the toast portraits?
They're just varying degrees of burnt toast, and they can make people's faces out of them.
We're watching a lady on a beach in a beach chair.
We're watching a lady in the sea in a beach chair.
This stuff. This stuff I find endlessly amusing. Have you seen The Bank Robber? We'll watch it and then I'll describe it for the podcasters. Bank robber drops the gun, tries to jump over, thinks better of it, runs out.
Tough guy.
We got someone making a video. They've balanced their phone on a tripod on
a wall
over a canal. But what's great, he's doing the dancing, and then he turns. Now,
but who's filming him and why?
Exactly, quite possibly fake. But do you know what, Catherine? I don't care about stuff being fake anymore. I don't care about it. Did you see this?
Yeah, I think we've looked at that on the show before, haven't we?
Have we looked at it on the show? It's Clive Swift.
Richard from Keeping Up Appearances.
And it's an interview for, I guess, a Doctor Who magazine. I can't zoom into it.
Let's just say it's quite clear he's not up for it.
Let's do it tomorrow when you're here. We'll act it out. This is a great one. This is, can anyone help Freddie with the lyrics? This comes from David Turner's. So this is Freddie Mercury on a balcony.
Can anyone help Freddie with the lyrics?
It's like when we do a live show and we do a song at the start of the show and I go, I'm going to learn it this time. I'm going to learn it. Nope, didn't learn it. But I know what it sounds like.
Yeah.
And
that's weird.
Go on.
I was going to say that's weird because there's a Freddie Mercury tribute in one of the videos I've sent you.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he certainly he was pretending that he knew the words. He was making he was giving us the whiff of the song.
He was giving us the whiff of the song.
The vapors.
That is all. That is all we were getting. Oh, we've had someone's donated a penny.
Oh,
quiet bloke.
Thank you.
£20, grateful. Penny, not grateful. Let's just do that again, as it should be done. Quiet bloke, thank you so much for the donation towards the vets bills. That's really appreciated.
Every penny counts. Every penny.
But not every penny, not one penny. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for that. So let's just quickly address this because I wasn't going to mention it, but I will mention it. So I went to the hospital this week. I've got there's MRIs coming out of my Watusi, right? So I'm having an MRI in October for my back. And I had an MRI. Turns out it was in September of last year. If I'd have been pushed, I'd have said it was April or May. But it was a year ago, right? And I did it because I was getting like my vision was like going wobbly. And I couldn't really describe it. It was just going a bit wobbly. And it was happening quite a lot a year ago. Then it stopped for a while and it's been happening again recently. And I thought, is this... So I went and had my eyes tested and they said, no, your eyes are fine. Maybe you want to up your prescription a tiny bit, but your eyes are fine. So I got in touch with them. I said, my eyes are wobbly. And so we went for an MRI scan. And listen, those who don't know, I used to be a raging cocaine addict. And I went for an MRI scan, 15 years ago. And there were like, is it lesions? Is that what they call it? My brain was, different parts of my brain were like grey when they should have been, I don't know, purple or whatever a brain is. And me and the neurologist, he kind of said, look, this is probably from cocaine use. This is probably cocaine damage that you've done. It's nothing to worry about. So I had the MRI and the GP got in touch, said, oh, there's some stuff on your brain that actually they want to talk to you about. And I was thinking, it's just going to be the cocaine lesions, which is, by the way, great band. First album is amazing. Cocaine is very Moorish, Dave. So I thought it's going to be that. And I almost didn't go because I thought, well, he's just going to tell me that. And then I'd lost the letter. Anyway, I went and I thought it'd be a straight in, straight out. Oh, this is it. And so she said, okay, so there's a mark on your brain. And I said, oh, is it the lesions? Because I think that's cocaine. She goes, no. There's, and I don't remember how big she said it was. She said it was small. But she said, there's something on the part of your brain that controls eyesight, right? I was like, okay. And then she said, do you see people? I said, no. I said, if I get a migraine, I see people. I hallucinate people, but I don't hallucinate people. Okay. And then she did the thing where she tested, like, you put your arm out, try and push up, try and push down. She did all that. And then she said, and I might get a little bit upset. Then she said, right, it might be a tumour, although that's really, really unlikely. I'm thinking, fuck, oh. And so I said, I'm glad you said that last bit because I was a little bit worried. Nothing. And then she said, she said what they do is every Wednesday the neurologists all get together and they like bring x-rays and scans in and they all look at them for different opinions. So she's going to do that. And she said, right, because that was a year ago, we're going to get you another MRI to see if it's grown. And she then said, I'm going to get upset. She said, you might have had a stroke. And I'm like sat there thinking, what? And I said, really? She said, well, it may be nothing, but there is a chance you might have had a stroke. And I'm sat there thinking, what? I was supposed to just come in and we were going to tell funny cocaine stories and we were going to laugh it off and I was going to go home high-fiving. And she was being really serious. So I'm going to say it, I shit myself. And I kind of came out and I was quite numb and I had to go and have blood tests and I had to sit for about an hour waiting for a blood test. And I've still not, I'm going to cry now. I've still not processed it. I was processing it today. Bizarrely, when I'd finished this computer and I played some Imani, and Imani said this publicly, so I can say it, but one of Imani's brothers died recently. And I don't know the full details, but suddenly I just started crying, and I was crying about her because I love her, and felt really sad that she's had some really bad luck. And then I started crying for me, going, oh shit, I might have had a stroke. Now, it might be absolutely nothing. There's a very, very strong chance that it's nothing. But it hit me today. Oh shit. And it's the second time the word stroke has been mentioned to me because my cholesterol is up massively. The GP said 2 months ago, that there's a 10% chance of you having a stroke or heart attack and stuff. So that's why I'm on statins. And it's probably down to my quetiapine medicine that my cholesterol's so high. But I thought, oh, right, okay, suddenly this is serious. This is twice that the word stroke has been mentioned to me, and the second time it was in, you might have had one. So, I mean, I don't know what, fuck this. I don't know what to make of it, to be honest, Catherine. I wonder what you made of it.
I'm worried.
Yeah.
I'm worried. But I also know that doesn't serve any positive purpose at this point, right? We just got to wait and see one step at a time, really. And I'm holding on big style to it's probably nothing.
Yeah. It's wild, right?
It would be classic, wouldn't it? It would be classic us that just as things are starting to turn out for us, something shit happens. I've had a health scare this year. Now you've got one.
And also, was in the hospital on a day where you were, not having a particularly nice day because of stuff. And I genuinely, when I was talking to you on the phone, and you said, "Oh, I should have come with you," I was like, "Oh no, I'm fine." And I was quite numb. And it was only tonight. I think that's partly why I was enjoying getting obsessed with the computer, because it gave me something. And it was only tonight that I thought, oh shit. And you're right. They have to tell you everything, and it probably is nothing. When bad things happen to people, right? When someone dies or they get ill or something, quite often people will say, "Why me? Why me?" Here's the question that actually needs to be asked. Every day something doesn't happen. Why not me? That's the question. Why not me? Because this stuff happens to people. It happens to people, real people. And maybe I'm one of those real people that it happens to. You know, do you know what I mean? I'm not trying to put myself down or anything. Why not me? I learned that in AA. Why not me? Because this stuff happens to people. Anyway, yeah, don't Google anything. So I did, because I've got a really bad arm and, you know, of course. Anyway, I just want to put that out there. Hopefully I'll get an MRI and get to, now I'm in the system, it'll be quicker than a year. I'm kind of confident of that. Hopefully they'll have their little neurologists meet and go, it's nothing. We see if it's, maybe I go back and it's not grown, it's the same size, or it's shrunk or whatever. However, the one thing I did enjoy, I did get pleasure from, that's the wrong word, is that it was like, oh, okay, that wobbly vision is something. There is something there. That wobbly vision wasn't me being a hypochondriac. There is something going on. That wobbly vision is real. And I had to really, I had to keep saying to her, I can still drive, because I really didn't want her to say, oh, you can't drive. But my vision has been getting significantly worse. I was in Tesco a couple of weeks ago without any glasses. I only need glasses for reading and mid, like computers. I couldn't see anything in the shop. Everything was really blurry, everything. And I had to kind of, you know, I could see to walk around and stuff, but I thought, I can't see what I'm buying here. That was weird. That was weird. Anyway, I just thought I would share that. That's the fun stuff out of the way. And I've been getting a lot of headaches. Anyway, hopefully back soon with some good news. Yeah, it really hit me today was, thought, oh shit, come on now. But diet is changing. McDonald's not going to go completely, but maybe once a month. Pizza and Chinese going to cut right back down. Going to eat healthier. Going to start making, quetiapine is associated with an increased risk of stroke. And I'm getting a blood test in probably 2 months now about my cholesterol. And if that is still really high, then I will speak to my psych and say, right, I don't think this is working. Is there something else we can do? But it's that thing of the bipolar's doing really well, but then it comes with that risk. I don't want a stroke. I can stop eating cheese. I don't want a stroke. That stuff's awful. Not the cheese. Cheese is great. The strokes are the awful stuff. So there's the fun stuff out of the way. I didn't cry as I was expecting to, so that's a Brucey bonus. Oh, right. No, let me show you this geezer, then we'll look at your TikToks, Catherine. But when I was at the hospital, why can't I do that? It's in the car park, right? And it's one of those ones where it scans, indigestion, sorry. It scans your number plate, and then you go to the machine and you type in your number plate, and it says, okay, you've been in for 2 hours, you owe £7. It's relatively cheap car park. Right. And let me just do this. And so there was quite a queue there because the machine wasn't quite working. For some people, it wasn't, let me just do this. For some people, it wasn't recognizing their number plates. So there was some conversation going on. There was a little bit of, oh, I don't know what to do. Oh, have you tried this? Or there was an honesty button on there. I thought, well, that's weird. There's an honesty button on there. So we're all there. And while we talk, so there's two machines, right? And there's the machine on the right you can't see. There's a woman and it won't recognize her number plate. I'm stood here, obviously, taking the photo. There's a woman next to me who's saying, I don't think the machine's working. And there was a woman at this machine who turned to help the woman on this machine, right? Queue of 5-6 people. This absolute geezer, as soon as this woman turned, he wasn't in the queue, strode right up to the machine, typed in his details, and I turned to the bloke behind me and we just looked at each other and went, huh? Strode up there as bold, he had a blue badge, strode up there as bold as you like, typed in his number plate, and then went, what? And I was watching him thinking, I wish I had the balls that man is clearly, he's got tight buns as well. But I wish I had the balls to do. What a geezer. I thought,
My
what's a
suggestion,
geezer? Yep.
he's a regular.
And let's be honest, he's probably not going to be visiting too many times after this. But
This guy's a regular. He knows this happens every time. It's been him once. It won't be him again.
absolute geezer. Right, Katherine Boyle has sent some ticky-tockingtons.
Yes, I didn't put any titles on there because I thought, let's be surprised.
Okay, so I need to...
I love TikTok so much, but I've wasted so much time on there. So much time. But you know what? It's more positive than Twitter.
Somebody do this on
Also, we want to talk about, I keep writing this down, TikTok Live. We're supposed to be doing this show on TikTok Live as well, we say.
I don't know. TikTok Live seems to be dominated by people who attract hatred and controversy. I don't know whether I want to enter that particular zoo, but it might be worth thinking about.
It might get us an audience. So is this the one?
One of many. Oh yeah, this is great.
Okay, life hack.
Okay, I saw somebody do this on TikTok and thought it was genius, so I'm gonna give it a try. You know when you want the last bit of ketchup and then most people hit it on their palm like that, but if you want to
It's a
get
squeezy bottle of
the whole
ketchup,
bottle,
almost gone. She's windmilling it.
how cool is that?
It's all in the bottom.
Holy shit, that's amazing.
That is going to wow the kids at some point.
Mark, thank you for the sub. That's amazing.
It's
But
great.
also,
Isn't it?
you know the best bit of that?
What?
Look at her face when she goes into it. Hang on.
Concentration.
So there, she's happy and smiling. Absolutely
Have
giving
it.
it large. Have it.
How cool is that?
That's awesome, Casey Reiger. That's awesome.
That's going to change our lives.
That is awesome.
Right? How cool is that?
Great.
Do I demonstrate that to the kids?
Yes.
Well, is that not a recipe for getting a new paint job in the kitchen, though?
Make sure the lid is on.
Marcus says, Pete Townsend, yep. Jimbo says, I've updated Jenna with your medical news, Ian, and she blames Jack FM. Me too. Me too. All right, so that's a good one. Okay, so now I'm going to click on another. It's always slightly... All right, so can you see... Oh, whoa. Hang on. Whoa. No one listen. Don't know where it's gone. Okay.
Right. So I know what that is from the sound of it.
Can you see that?
I can't, but I know.
All right, let me. It's always so tricksy, sharing stuff. There we go.
You remember ages ago we saw the Dancing in the Street with Bowie and Jagger and no music, and all you hear is them like and scraping their feet on the ground. It's that, but Britney. In Oops, I Did It Again. Yes, it's the red vinyl catsuit, ladies and gentlemen, but I don't need to tell you that because you'll be able to hear it.
Am I allowed to watch this video? Because
Yes.
this noise does stuff for me. Well, let's not go into any more detail. Here we go.
Oh, baby, oops, I did it again. I played with your heart, got lost in the game. Oh, baby, oops, you think I'm in love, like I'm sent from above. I'm not that innocent.
And just let's pause for a second. And for the people watching on YouTube, once this has been uploaded, we just watched Britney Spears. That's why there's a big leap of about 3 minutes in the video because we had to cut it out. And that's
I
why
don't
it's
know whether
taken
it
a week.
recognise it with the squeaking over the top.
Do you know what? It'll recognise it with that singing. That'll be enough. The algorithms, man.
damn it.
The goddamn algorithms. We got.
Oops, we did it again.
Oops. Get another one. Okay. It will get so. So it should be able to drag this over, but it doesn't work like that. So what we have to do
Share
is we have to
again.
stop. Oh, hang on a minute. If I click on that, hang on. Oh. All right. No, it's doing something silly. Right. So we go there. We go there. So, this is literally as slick as it gets.
Here we go.
Okay.
I don't know
ADHDers.
what made me think of you. I thought you might like this.
Around their favourite person. It's two. Are they budgerigars or canaries? I think they're budgerigars. Okay. Again. So there are two canaries in a cage. One is white and blue and is stationary. The other one is a very colourful, bright greens and yellows and a bit of orange, and is like twerking and doing everything they can to either get the other bird interested or to annoy them.
And I think you might be doing the latter, but the other one is like, I'm not going to give you any attention whatsoever.
I don't get it.
No, I do.
Okay, that seems rude to me. I certainly don't bump and grind around you. Dear God.
No, you don't, but you have marched at me.
I do marching. I'm a big fan of marching. Okay, here we go. Well, God, already, I love this one. When you buy Queen tickets on Wish, what's that site that the kids are raving about, where you can buy like shoes for £1.32?
Temu.
Is it real?
Yeah, but it's really, it's really shit.
But you can get shoes for like one, because the kids are going wild. Should we have a little look on Temu in a bit and see what we can get?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. When you buy Queen tickets on Wish.
We will rock a raccoon.
I don't know what podcasters, I'm not going to describe that to you.
You know what that was.
I think it's better that you don't know what just happened there. Just stick with the sounds. Stick with the sounds. Don't worry about the visuals on that one. Stick with the sound. We've got one more.
Yeah.
Oh, I ruined it. I love I ruined it. I ruined it.
This is Haze, isn't it?
This is what?
Hey. This is a song made up of all the famous Haze.
I like this one. I've heard this one. Share screen. You are cruising for a copyright bruising tonight, Ms. Boyle.
Let's have it.
Here we go. So this, for those who don't know, explain what this I Ruined It is.
Well, it's a bit like Cassette Boy, except rather than making up a song or making famous people say things, he gets what famous people have said and makes a song out of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey now. Hey yo. Hey 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 hey. Hey hey hey.
Right. Now we're going to play it again. I don't suppose you can see it well enough to read the name. Shall I do the names? Can you do it?
Can. Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll turn it down a little bit. Here we go.
4 non-blondes. Lumineers, Pharrell Williams, Queen, Katy Perry, Hank Williams, Led Zeppelin, Nirvana, Jimmy East World, Housecast, Train, Lil Jon, Taylor Swift, Paul McCartney, Ramones, Pink Floyd.
Hang on, because you're like about 6 behind them.
Yeah, I think my video might be
Shall I
slightly
do?
delayed.
Let me do it.
You do it.
So it starts off with 4 non-blondes. Lumineers, Pharrell, Hank Williams, Katy Perry, Led Zeppelin, Nirvana, Jimmy Eat World, Outcast, Train, Lil Jon, McCartney, Taylor Swift, Pink Floyd, Ramones, Pixies, Smash Mouth, Lady Gaga, Four Non Blondes. Pixies, Lumineers, all of them. Chili Peppers. The Monkees, Elvis. Metallica, Lennon, Cash, Beyonce, Stefani, Blake Shelton, Neil Young, Jimi Hendrix, Jackson. Brown. And yes, I did say Farrell. And
Farrell.
I'm man enough to own that. Pody says there's a WFMU podcast called Do or DIY with people like us that has lots of this. Of course, Pody, I know you're a recent subscriber to us. You may not know that several years ago, Catherine and I toured the WFM?
FMU, yeah.
WFMU, maybe WMFU is different, or maybe you've got the letters wrong, but we toured WFMU, met our good friend Amanda Nazario, and we did the show live from there. And we also met the guy that was discovered the Langley Schools Music Project, which if you don't know, go and have a look at that. That was one of the greatest days of my broadcasting career, meeting really nice, geeky people, including ourselves in that. This is when we loved radio. Being made to feel very welcome and seeing a really cool radio station. I mean, really, really cool, lovely people that were doing it. They weren't getting paid. They were doing it because they loved doing it. And that was a period when we loved doing it because we went to New York and Talk Radio. Remind me how much of that the flights and hotels Talk Radio gave us? Oh,
0 pence.
It was 0 pence I paid for it because we wanted to go and make some really cool radio. And we did. Still one of the best weeks of my professional career. That was amazing, right?
It was great. And WFMU, just before we move away from that, completely funded by its really, really dedicated listenership. It was a hell of an outfit. It was wonderful. And it had one of those big record rooms where you can go in and smell all that vinyl.
Yeah. What a place. Great. What a place. I love it. Yeah. I messaged Amanda a couple of months ago, so I haven't spoken to her for a while. But what an absolute place. That was when we used to love radio. Now I wouldn't say I hate it. I'm bored. I'm bored of it. There's nothing. I listen to a little bit of James O'Brien, but really, and I think he's great, and I consider him a friend. I'm very lucky. We did a show from a pizza shop, you're right. That kind of radio doesn't interest me anymore. Bezic, I listen to a bit and there's still some good bits, but that's ending in a month. And actually, he's not getting it's probably time that he hung up his hat, I would say.
Here's what I think about radio at the moment. It's bloody hard work inside radio at the moment, and it's starting, and it shows, right? There is very little love, fun, enjoyment being beamed out of those speakers at the moment because it's flipping horrible to work there in a lot of places. You can hear it. And I don't want to listen to it in my spare time because I know what's going on.
No, and I don't get any pleasure. I listen to 4 Extra, and I listen to it partly because me and Dave Dogface message each other about some of the awful comedy on there. There's a couple of. I mean, obviously, when I go on 4 Extra and do the links, I enjoy all of those shows. It's kind of the daytime stuff that I'm not so keen on. But I listen to that because I just like hearing in the background while I fall asleep. It doesn't matter what it is. I just like that. I prefer it not to be period dramas for some reason. I can't fall asleep listening to those. It has to be recent stuff or from the 80s. Like I say, there's some great podcasts. The Computer Game Show, Al Sinclair, the Clinton. These are all really but these are all very specific niche things. There is no radio that excites me at all, or even interests me these days. None of it.
No, it's tricky. A lot of places. I mean, I think speech radio is kind of what we're talking about more than anything else. But a lot of places they've battened down the hatches, and you can tell. So, excitement. They're going for safety at the moment. And I think it's a real shame. I think there is it is tinged with the fact that we loved it so much. And it did feel like towards the end that that didn't matter. But hey ho, I suppose, these things always go in cycles, don't they? But I just think that radio, like television, is just going to become, people will zone into podcast. Podcast is like, TV on demand. That's the way it's going to go, isn't it?
Yeah, the kids have started listening. Well, Kim has certainly started listening to podcasts. Music radio is different. And we listen to a lot of Capital in my car. Not so much now because the kids have their headphones in. The headphones, they laugh at me for calling that, earbuds in. So I tend to listen to my old man podcast. But I've listened to a lot of the people on Capital. The boys were blown away that quite a few of them follow me. I don't like what feels like the enforced jollity of the breakfast show.
Oh, I love the breakfast show.
Okay.
But I've appeared on it, so maybe
of course you have. I like a lot of the kind of daytime presenters. There's a guy on there called Jimmy Hill. Imagine.
Yeah.
And those people.
I think a lot of them are great. Yeah.
A lot of those people are great. But I enjoy listening to it, and I enjoy listening to it with the kids. I don't really listen to it if the kids aren't there, but I enjoy it when it's on. But that kind of jukebox thing has never appealed to me. I've been hired to do music shows, and I've never been able to do it. It's a very, very specialist skill that I cannot do. I can't do that 45-second link with a tease up of what's on breakfast. I can't do it. But yeah, there's nothing else.
There's been times in my life when I've put the radio in the morning and not turned it off till late at night, and I've been listening to things that I didn't know I was interested in. That we were talking about earlier on with Neil about the fact that you latch on to the personality rather than the actual story they're telling. Sometimes it doesn't matter that you weren't interested in the first place, just the way they tell it makes you want to hear more, right?
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've done that. A long time.
We were good, right?
We were bloody brilliant, and
but
most of all, we were different, and there's not a lot of different going on.
We were. I did an interview for a community radio station. A guy had asked me ages ago, and I said, "Oh, ask me in 6 months," and he did, and it was like, "Okay, I'll do it." And I was a bit. I'll do it. But actually, I'm really glad I did it. I think it may have gone out. I don't know, but I really enjoyed talking to him, and partly why I enjoyed it is because. For perhaps maybe I've done it a little bit, but for the first time that I can remember, I didn't apologise for any of my career. He talked about the 11 o'clock show, and I always go, well, it was a bit hit and miss.
It was of its time and all that stuff.
And I said, you know what? I've never said this before. That show was brilliant. And I really enjoyed it, and I'm really proud of it. Would I say some of those things now? No, but I said them, I did them, and that show was brilliant. And I also bigged up, the radio show. I did not doubt the radio shows. I said, you know what? I can say this now with some distance. I was really good, and I did some really good, unique radio. Some of it with you, some of it on my own, some of it with other people. And I said, you know what? I'm really proud of my back catalogue, and I was good. I was one of the best. Hearing James O'Brien call me a genius on Chatterbix was the first seed of, oh, shoot, maybe. I was great. We were together as a team, we were unstoppable. We did some great stuff.
Until they stopped us.
Well, we were literally stoppable.
I was thinking back last night, and I put it on Twitter. One of those bloody awful, because BBC Radio has to, make out that it is for its audience, and so it brings people in. But of course, the people who are going to come in are a very specific kind of person, right? Yeah. So there was an audience panel, and I had to sit with this audience panel while they.
What was this at Three Counties? Sorry.
Yeah.
And
I'd only just started presenting, really. So at a point when you don't really need your confidence knocking to the point where they're going to knock it, I'd taken over from someone who'd been doing it for years. So of course that's going to be bloody awful. I was not prepared for it at all. And I just remember this woman, she probably was in her 50s, maybe early 60s. And everyone went round, and a lot of people were very nice. It's like, well, we liked you on this. So, we think you're coming along really nice. They were very kind, It was not perfect to start with, but who is, right?
Thank you, Twisty.
And also, I've listened to some BBC local radio. I was good compared to a lot of people. I put bloody effort into my shows, and I did not just follow what everyone else had done, right? I've never done that. Anyway, so this woman said to me, I'm sorry, Catherine, but my husband won't have you on in our house. So that's all I've got to say about you. like to my face in this really sort of very passive aggressive way where she
God,
kind
imagine
of
if I'd
enjoyed
been
it.
at one of those sessions.
I know. And I remember coming away from that feeling quite hurt by it, but also puzzled. But now I think, good. I'm glad that someone felt strongly enough that they didn't want to have me on, because I don't want that sort of I wasn't making radio for that sort of person.
There are some brilliant people on BBC Local Radio. There are some incredible people on BBC Local Radio who've got the boot. And I'm not going to name any names because that wouldn't be fair on them, and it wouldn't be fair on. But I know personally several people who work there and have worked there that are flipping brilliant.
Yeah,
I also know there's a
wonderful.
load of crap. For some reason, my car is tuned to BBC London 94.9, and I can't really pick it up here. I don't know. I guess it always seems to default to that, but I can pick it up if the wind's blowing in the right direction. And I got in the car and drove, and there was a guy doing On This Day in History. And it was on this day in history, 60 years ago, there was a revolution in Chile. What the fudge has that got to do? You remember?
On this day in history, 60 years ago, someone was doing On This Day in History
There
at
used
this
to
radio
be.
station.
I don't know if they got it at BBC. I remember seeing it in
was
some
a book.
commercial. There was a magazine that would get sent out.
What was it
and
called? On Air or something?
It was on air. It was on air, and it was all like talking points and news stories, and this person's been promoted here and gone there, but like the back pages were On This Day in, like the second whole half of the magazine, On This Day in History. So there were all these jocks, and I will call those people jocks. Was it extracts?
Extracts.
Extracts.
That's it.
Thank you, DJ Blag. And there were people all over the country filling by reading the same list
Now,
On This Day in History.
I must hold my hands up because someone might find it at some point. But I used to do a show because when I took over from this gentleman who'd been doing it for a very long time and had a very loyal, fierce fan base, and
there always is, yeah.
And one or two who were awful, let's be honest, and who made it their mission to try and get me the boot with some very bizarre messages. Anyway, so he was it was a people and places type program. So it was at 1:00 in the afternoon, and it was one of those shows where they wanted it was all about the three counties, right? So I must admit that my shows were based on this day in history. But what I used to do was we used to go to places and meet people and talk about the historical things that had happened on that day in history in the three counties, right?
Yeah. Okay, we've got a story
It would be a day
now.
out. Yeah, so it'd be a day out. There would be a whole show about it. So it'd be on this day in history, Civil War, whatever. And we'd go to St Albans.
Civil War, whatever.
No, go up the clock tower. I think one of the first skirmishes of the Civil War happened in St Albans. We went to the place where it happened. I spoke to historians and archaeologists and stuff like that. I used to make those programs and that was every day.
Yeah.
Every day. And I would self-produce it. So, yeah, okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with touching on that, but not just a throwaway
Reading
5
a list
minutes.
that's filler. Going and doing a whole production piece is great. I have always said that I think the best phone-in radio is about, or the best speech radio is about stories. It's about stories, whether that is a documentary about two homeless people or it's someone phoning up and saying they've got an overdose, they've taken an overdose. And I'm going to be honest, that was a life was at risk, but that was an incredible story. You remember that guy that phoned up, and he phoned us for a while, and I ended up WhatsApping him for a bit. He was coming home from the hospital. His wife had died, and he was putting off going and telling his I think she was 5-6-year-old daughter. So he phoned us up as a buffer.
Yeah.
Wow. Also, people, very quickly, just because it doesn't have to be heavy stuff. A guy phoning up and people phoning up to list foods to him, and he would say, "Tastes like food, doesn't taste like food." Yes. That's brilliant. Or the sweet game. I would sing a song with the word "sweet" in, and that stuff.
We were lucky. The late night stuff was probably my favourite.
Thank you, G-Cuffs.
But the late night stuff would never have happened if we hadn't done the local radio stuff. And I never saw local radio as being the poor relation. I always thought, right, I've got this 3 hours. What are we going to do with it? And that was the attitude when we did the breakfast show. I only said I would produce that breakfast show if they let me do what I wanted to do.
I bullied you into it. I saw off 2 producers and I bullied you into it.
I kept saying I didn't want to do it because I'd done it before and I didn't want to have to put you in a box. And I said, if they'll let me do what I think needs to be done, then I'll do it. And in the end, I think they gave in. So we didn't have to do all the stuff that we'd had to do before.
Do you remember?
And on paper, it looked like a local radio breakfast show, but in your ears,
We
it
were
didn't.
subversive. When the Suits found out, they got rid of us. They literally did. But I remember when you were newsreader. Do you remember I was in tears after a show because I had to do the schools that were closed down because of the snow, and I just
to read
thought,
every single one out.
and I was in tears thinking I can't do this, but I had to do it because I had no other chance of getting a job anywhere else. That was my kind of Jesus in the desert for 40 days, 40 nights. That was me in the wilderness, because no one would touch me for quite a long time. So I had to do it, and I was so depressed.
It was
Reading out
super
the schools
scripted,
that
wasn't
were
it?
closed. Oh
Yeah.
my God, because of snow.
And this is no shade to the producers that went before. They've been given a very strict sort of structure to follow. But I could see that it wasn't really working with you in it. And I just didn't see the point in hiring Iain Lee and then forcing you to read scripts out.
Oh, horrible.
But I was lucky, actually, that, it got to the point where they went, yeah, whatever you want to do. We were lucky. We were lucky. And then we weren't.
We were lucky, then we weren't.
Which seems to be the story, right?
So someone has sent me, we won't do it tonight. Friday night is El Dorado night.
Mm-hmm.
Someone has sent me every single episode. I think there's 157 of them.
What?
This is why I needed to get an extra memory, because I did not have the 40 gigabytes it required to download it. I now have got plenty. So, but it was such a big file, like it wouldn't download. So someone is sending them 40 at a time. Now,
oh mate, do you think we'll get through the first tranche?
well, well done. That's a great word. It really is. And we were joking, and someone mentioned it before you joined us. What were we joking would probably be the end result of watching these?
Well, us.
Yeah.
I said at some point, we'll probably be about 15 to 20 deep before someone says they don't actually enjoy it.
Boom. It's exactly what someone picked up on in the chat. Because, of course, we watched Paddington Green thinking you all loved it. And then when we run out of them, you went,
good.
Yeah, no, we weren't really enjoying it, but we were enjoying you guys watching it, but we didn't like the show. No, we're not doing a poll, Sofa Bum. We're taking control of it. We are in control. We know what's good. We know what's good for you.
Well, we know it was terrible, and that is El Dorado. My goodness.
So I think we on episode 3. Did we watch 2 or 3? Anyway.
Yeah.
Anything you want, I got 'em. Pody says we must keep the Patreon going for at least another 137 weeks. And we'll see how it goes. 3 down. Says Richard.
We're only 3 in, and already no mention of Marcus Tandy's possible baby.
All those blueies. Do you remember the blueies in the first episode?
A whole
They are
load of
MacGuffin.
things and not followed them up.
Speaking of MacGuffins, so I typed in Extracts magazine in eBay. Don't do that. I now have to delete that search in eBay in case my kids see it. Brings up a lot of gay porn on eBay.
Is it?
And that's not my
Extra
algorithm.
X or something.
Extracts. Yeah, maybe. Cape Town Dean's just joined us, literally said good evening or watched any El Dorado. We're talking about it. Now, there have been 2 people that have helped me get these El Dorados. One of them is Mr. CTD himself, Mr. Cape Town Dean. How funny you join us just as we're talking about that. So someone tried to send me 40 gigs and my computer, it just kept stopping downloading. So Dean had also reached out saying, Iain, I can get El Dorado for you. And he's very kindly broken it down. I think it's 40 or 50. So I'm going to grab those. I should spend some of tomorrow.
We don't want to know why or how.
I did say to the other gentleman who will be joining us at some point to watch, why do you have access to this? It turns out there is like a secret club. It's like Fight Club, except they don't talk about it, but it's like a secret. Years and years ago, right? Early 2000s, there used to be these secret bootleg trading sites. You want live Paul McCartney 1997, you want Led Zeppelin 78, you want the Beach Boys Smiley Smile Millennium Edition. You had to join these things, but you couldn't just join them. You had to be nominated.
Oh.
You had to request sometimes. And you always ask, what have you got to share?
So literally honor amongst thieves.
Yeah. And I believe, and I'm not going to say where, Dean, don't worry, I'm not going to grass you up. But I believe there are these shady organisations where TV shows. Here's the thing, found a Facebook page. If Dean hadn't got in touch, I was about to press send on £40 for the entire series on DVD. I was prepared to do that, but we didn't. Dean has helped. So tomorrow, El Dorado is back. And if it goes on, well, maybe we'll see if we can get some of the oh, by the way, I'm the best at swallowing a yawn, because sometimes I yawn when I'm with clients and you can't be seen to go.
Well, then, how'd you do it?
I got yawn to make me yawn. But don't put your hand in your mouth, because then I don't see you yawning.
I'm not going to yawn on demand.
Well, you've just asked me to literally do that. You do a yawn. No, do a yawn to make me yawn.
I don't know how you do that.
Well, you
It's
know,
real, doesn't it? Your yawn detector won't go off if it's not a real one, surely. Oh, here's one. Oh. No, nothing.
I just swallowed a yawn, and you didn't
No,
know.
you never.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I just swallowed a yawn, and you didn't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a talent.
When I was seeing a client today, you know that Beatles picture up there that was up there? Well, it's not up there anymore, because it just felt everything collapsed off the top shelf. And I had a client, and I went, "Oh shit!" I'm so sorry about that. And it was
it psychic energy what done it, or what?
Oh, I don't know what it was. I blamed it on the cats, but I don't know. The cats weren't there, and it was in the middle of something quite important. Oh shit! I'm so sorry about that. It appears one of the cats has knocked off some things from a shelf.
I just swallowed a yawn. Yummy.
Mummy, what's for tea? Yawns.
Yawns.
So, Jim Jam fought the yawn back. By the way, these are why are you not in PJs tonight?
Me?
Yeah, I got two sets of PJs.
Just come back from the vets.
You get out.
If I'd have known it was PJ night, I would have got changed quickly. But I just came back from the vets. If you remember, we had something of an emergency.
Pody yawned. Richard yawned. Listen, these are all weak people. Matty yawned. Jim Jams yawned. Paul McPaul's yawned. DJ Blag yawned. Weak-minded people is who I'm hearing from. Oh, crikey! We're supposed to be using this to plug our Patreon, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
We're the worst. We're the worst salespeople in all of show business, right? Now Visionary sent a clip last week. Let us find it. Let us find. It might have been a little bit more than a week ago. She said, "Evening both. I thought this was too interesting to keep to myself."
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Hang on. It's all kicking off. Sorry, go on.
What happened? Oh, that documentary I sent you about the fella whose gran had been given a nuclear chapati.
Oh yeah, that was weird. Is it a fun thing to show here?
I just think it's a how the hell did we not? Is this not famous?
Here's something I learned from Al Sinclair with Boat and Aaron, who we were mentioning. Early on. Frank Bruno had a top 40 hit. Did you know that?
No.
What song do you think Frank Bruno had a top 40 hit with? You can work it out.
Something about Harry.
Good guess. No.
Don't know.
Eye of the Tiger. Big chart hit for Frank Bruno. Would you like to listen to a bit of it?
Well, I'm going to say no.
Okay.
But you'll play it anyway.
So you can hear this, right?
Yeah.
I need to get the picture right.
Bruno.
So this is Frank Bruno. Let's read about this. Frank Bruno's cover of Survivor's Eye of the Tiger from 1996.
Oh my God, it happened as late as 1996. I was about to say before I realised 1996 was some time ago.
What do you think? Now Bruno's got a very deep voice. Even I can't go as deep as he does. Very deep. It's very deep. It's quite gruff. I saw you yawn.
I didn't yawn. I was sneezing.
What do you think his singing voice sounds like?
Passable.
Okay, let's have a listen.
I bet he's got some. I bet he's got some lungs.
All right. Smoke and mirrors have been done here. But I'm not. I couldn't bet my life on it. That's Bruno singing.
Was it an only song or was there an album?
Was it an only song?
What I'm saying is, was this a one-hit wonder, or did they crack him out again? Because surely this guy's got a recording career.
Kate said, did the person who sang the Gladiators theme tune record this?
Or the guy who sang for the Tiger King. Remember that guy? Tiger King's voice was uncanny, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's amazing, that Bruno thing. One final thing, and then we'll watch it. We're so going to get stung.
Yeah, by whoever that guy was.
There's another song I found. I meant to play it the other week. Let me just find. I can't remember what it's called.
Is this what Visionary gave us?
No, this isn't. And we will play Visionary's bit in a minute. Let me just find the name of this because this is great. All right. Have you heard the Del Boy rap?
I think I have. Yeah.
Ginger featuring Leo.
Oh, maybe not.
No. Okay. This is incredible, right? This is incredible. Here's the video. Some of the cast of Fools and Horses.
Actual Marlene.
Going into a club.
Sorry, boys. Tenant to get in tonight.
Come on, man.
This is Ginger featuring
I
Leo.
recognise the guy on the left.
Yeah, that's right. We're
I do.
Performing.
Dancing?
Yeah.
Show some moves then.
What are you talking about, man?
These two blokes are not being allowed into the club.
Come on.
There's the Trotters van
Show you
behind
some
them.
moves, man. Please.
What is going on?
Boise, come to the
Hello,
club.
Ginger. All right, Leo, what can I do for you?
Listen, Boise, man, we're totally broke, man.
Someone thought this would be a good idea. It continues.
There's loads of cash, man.
More fool you.
Come on, man.
On the other hand, seeing as how he's here already, he owes me money too.
Catherine's face then as she heard the Only Fools and Horses theme music kick in there. Her face just dropped.
So when you find him, bring him to me.
Oh, safe, man, yeah, safe.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, hell no.
Now, what was it about pop videos in the 90s? They were always in like a white circular room, weren't
Yeah,
they?
they were always in the end of a
Five
hairdryer,
did
weren't
it.
they?
Yeah.
My name is Ginger. I'm getting so much steak.
In fact, I saw someone recreate one by putting... They'd taken the inside of a cheese grater and used that as the backdrop and then superimposed themselves, and it was the 90s.
I need to get rid of it. If you's a drinker, then get drunk. I insist. If you's a raver, then please bubble to this. I stop. Pay attention. Ginger's hair for the first time against this struggling in a K-Red Citroen. Just how I live to the flow that I'm licking. Listen, as
This is a slightly ripped off thing from Ice Ice Baby, isn't it?
Yeah. In a kitchen, or who's doing it with a pigeon? The yaks, we don't miss them. Boss staff
Fell through the bar.
I've got nips in, it's so thickin'. Ginger Ninja, vocab bigger. Then you
Ginger Ninja! Better hope he doesn't punch any customers or lick a pizza.
average MC geezer. Renaissance like the Tower of Pisa. Alright, love, nice to meet ya. Buy me a drink. My name is Ginger. I'm getting so much steak cause of my banger. I need to get rid of it. If you's a drinker, then get drunk, I insist. If you's a raver, then please bubble to this.
Bubble to this. Were they the lyrics? Bubble to this.
I don't think ravers would be listening to...
Oh no, my name is Leo, and I've just spent all of my gyro. Solo is how I rock. Say we give it back tomorrow. Blind dates, I never do them, cause they always look like a monkey's rear end.
They always look like a monkey's rear end. And that, I think, is Dave wants to play Shit or Hit. Do you know what? I've heard that about 6 times now, and the more times I hear it, the more I think the chorus is actually quite good. So it's best if we ignore that. Right, let's find the thing.
There were meetings before that was made. Flipping it, imagine.
Yep. There really, really were. Let's watch a bit of this. Harsh loves it. Harsh loves it.
Don't.
Leo and Ginger Ninja are Harsh. Oh man, I wonder if they. Hang on, I wonder if they did another TV theme. Leo and Ginger Ninja. Oh no. My computer's just programmed to bring up sex things, right?
I don't know how it happens. I don't know how it happens.
It can't be because I delete my cookie. Anyway. So this is.
I think there might be some crumbs.
Oh, I snotted.
Ugh.
The Metro Beat and Club Sanctuary Night, circa 1986 to 1987. Wowzers! That is a haircut.
That is actually a sharp haircut, and I'm not being. It's not a metaphor. It's sharp.
Tell you what I like there is that straight line from forehead to ear, absolutely straight. That is great.
And the flattest of tops.
Someone behind them wearing a jumper. BAPT says, "Oh, I am there." Are you actually in this video? Because that would be awesome.
Sweet Lord. That is highly flammable.
Hachi. I can't even describe that hair.
That is.
Go on.
Imagine, if you will, that someone put like glue in the ends of their hair. So a woman maybe with hair slightly longer than mine, right? So just below, sort of to the collarbone, put glue in the ends, kept the fringe forward and down, very much down, and then tipped themselves upside down until it dried. That is the effect.
Visionary says Amy Winehouse. Yeah, I can see a proto.
It is, but
there's more work
no
gone into
hair
this.
clips involved there. It's just glue.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, we continue.
In fact, you know what it is? It's Lisa Simpson up top, isn't it?
Yeah. Also wearing a white shirt with the sleeves ripped off. You know, when like Bruce Lee, when he gets the sleeve ripped off, suddenly he just rips the whole thing off. That's what's happened there.
As a woman dancing to the beat of her own heart.
Mom, stop it! You're embarrassing me.
Oh my
now
God! This is hair I recognise.
Yeah.
The one on the right there there is a hint of a fringe, but there's mostly hairspray just at the top. That I've done. I have done.
The one on the right, slightly too old for me, but girls sort of 2 years ahead of me in school would have that kind of like a shaggy
perm. I was never allowed one.
Shaggy pony, that was it, wasn't it?
In fact, the girls that I knew had that, but they would put so much mousse on it that it would crunch. Never allowed. Pony. I had to resort to benders. Remember those?
Oh, Catherine, we don't say that anymore.
Do you remember benders? In fact, TikTok, they're using them again. They were like little sort of foam tubes with wire in them, and you would use them kind of like rollers. So you'd roll them up and sleep in them overnight. The most uncomfortable things ever. And you would get something approaching that, but it would not be permanently damaging your hair.
Crisps, shouts, capital letters. I had benders! Of course, Caterfer still has them.
I would say I had benders, but I didn't. I had the Superdrug knockoff version, and they were called something like Papilloten, and they were just made out of foam. They were not quite as effective.
Okay, all right, we continue.
I wished for benders.
Oh, I want to see this woman's dress. Bright red hair, but what's her dress? Oh, no.
Oh, it's not. It's a peplum blouse. There's a lot of extra belts going on back then.
Yeah, belts was there's some real grooving.
If in doubt, put everything on.
Tassels.
Oh, look, Chesney Hawkes.
Yeah, here's a reference for about one of you. He looks like a cross between Chesney Hawkes and one of the New Monkeys.
Yes. But he's really concentrating on those moves, and I appreciate that.
Well, here's the thing as well, right? They're being filmed. Being filmed in 1986 was a rarity. Now everyone's filmed all the time with CCTV and with phones. Everything is filmed all the time. 1986, stuff wasn't filmed. People weren't filmed. TV was not accessible. You didn't have your Big Brothers or any of that. To get on TV was a big deal.
But also good, because back then, thank God no one had camera phones. Thank God, because we got away with stuff that these kids are never going to get away with. It's true, isn't it?
Yeah. I tell you what I do like there. Oh, no, hang on. I've jumped forward too much. Hang on a second. I'll pause it when it...
I love the fact that he's concentrating so hard that he's got no lips.
I like shiny silvery jacket, red belt, and red and white...
Candy cane bum.
Candy cane bum. I like that is a look... I think you could carry that look.
I'm not going to say thank you.
You've got a jacket like that, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. Not quite the leggings, though. Not quite the horizontal stripes.
No.
Mind you, who's looking at that when he's busting some moves in his white jeans?
Oh. The thing is, look, she knows she's being filmed. Oh.
Yeah.
What is
she's
this?
working it.
So there's a guy with a Beastie Boys License to Ill tour. He's in a suit. He's got his back to us. He's holding a tambourine. He's got a Christmas hat on.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the comedy guy. It's the comedy guy. He's dressed
looks
up like
a sort
teacher.
of proto John Shuttleworth.
Yeah, that's weird. It's like when you used to go to I didn't go to many raves. I preferred to take the stuff and stay at home. But you would always get, you'd be in like 22, 23, 24. You'd always get a guy who was 52 who was damaged and was wearing like a pair of tight Speedos, blowing a whistle, and had fluorescent paint all over his body.
Yeah, guys like this, Michael Gove.
Right, let's continue. Okay. Loving it. All right, we get it. Oh, Susie.
Okay,
Susie
goths.
Sue.
We're loving it.
Susie Sue lookalike. I like that. I respect that look more now than I did then. Then I thought it was silly. Now I think, yeah, that's a look, actually. That's a good look. Oh, okay. There are bodices.
Yeah, I had one of those once. I did have one of those once.
What I'm loving is
her bouncing out of it.
Everyone, no. Everyone's sparking up fags.
Yeah.
This woman here is either embarrassed to be filmed or she's had too much.
She's about to chuck, I think.
I think she is.
Yeah, she needs to be taken off to the loo for a tactical chunder.
These two are...
Or she's not supposed to be there.
Yeah. These two are doing a sexy dance that is so unsexy.
Especially when you can't hear the music.
we will not be playing Cannon and Ball over this. I can't be bothered to rig it up.
We should play the Del Boy rap.
Oh, jeez, mate. Yeah, okay. Let's get the Del Boy rap.
It would work. But look at all that damaged hair. I mean, we've come on leaps and bounds in hair care. We really have. And this is all pre-straighteners as well. Flipping heck.
Okay. All right. Let's get to the meat and two veg of this song. So it starts about there. Hang on.
Yeah, show us schmooze then.
You're talking about
oh, they'll show us.
What I'll do for you?
Listen, Boise man,
I'll fool you. On the other hand, seeing as how he's here already, he owes me money too, so when you find him, bring him to me.
Oh, safe, man, yeah, safe.
I bet that woman looks younger now.
I'm getting so much stick because of my banger. I need to get rid of it. If you's a drinker, then get like I insist. If you's a raver,
Dear podcast listener, this is working too well.
Alright, stop. Pay attention. Ginger's hair for the first time against this. Struggling in a K-red Citroen. Just how I'm to the flow that I'm making. Listen.
That looks like Alex's hair now.
Let's push buttons, challenges making. That don't make sense like a toilet in a kitchen. Or a horse doing it with a pigeon. Dirty yaks, we don't miss them. Bar staff, we don't tip them. I've got nips in, it's so thickin'. Ginger ninja, vocab bigger than your average MC geezer. Brennan's lean like the Tower of Pisa. Alright, love, nice to meet ya. Buy me a drink, and my name is Ginger. I'm getting so much stick because of my banger. I need to get rid.
I can't listen to that song anymore.
But it works.
It works really well. Okay, let's just jump to the end of this. There are a lot of looks. Pink. There are a lot of looks, some of which work, some of which do not work.
What I love is all those kids had to go in the dressing up box. They all felt amazing that night.
Who is the quote? The past is like a foreign country. They do things differently there. Where is that? It's not Vonnegut, is it? Let me Google. The past is like a foreign country. They do things differently there. That's a great phrase. L.P. Hartley, from his 1953 novel The Go-Between. I've never heard of it. I got a feeling Vonnegut might have. Someone's using it because I've never read L.P. Hartley. But it's a good quote. It makes perfect sense. You know what? I'm hungry. I'm going to get some food.
Me too. I need to feed these kids. They've been snacking because everything was delayed because of the dash to the vets.
There's let's do a
Hello,
raid.
Yoko.
There's none of our people, so let's do a raid like for old time's sakes, right, guys? Right. Hello, Yoko. I finally this week I'm able to recognise your cats.
She's not quite as big as her brother.
I don't know whether I'm a bit worried now that I've let Lucky out and she's not come back. Sorry, zoom screen, share screen, TLN8. Right.
Careful.
Let's let's browse. Let's find someone. Let's do it old school. Just chatting. Have they changed? Oh, I forgot. It's Thursday. Boob time. Thursday there for dysfunctional baddie. Ass Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
It's a man and should we go and have a look at Ass Thursday on Bap Dapo? I think you have to watch an advert now, don't you? So we'll
Shooting right at your face. Who is the rudest viewer? What?
Ass Thursday shooting right at your face. Who is the rudest? I don't know what those words.
One
mean.
of the people in the chat says, "When do we have nipple Thursdays?"
Winky Wednesdays, Tackle Tuesdays, Muff Mondays, shit Sundays. I hate Sundays. I really hate Sundays. Not my cup
Surely
of tea.
it's bum day, surely.
All right, here we go. So let's.
Let us not disturb the Pandora nips. Well, we're left with one choice, folks.
Can I just say, Simon said, isn't Pan's nipple, like, incapable of fitting on screen?
We totally have to raid these people.
Yeah, I like
right?
them.
We're going to raid these people. Listen, we're back tomorrow, Friday. I'm hoping we got Nick, who is the brains behind Phantom Peak, which is just this awesome, awesome place that will hopefully he's tomorrow. He's in Europe trying to get funding at the moment. So hopefully he'll join us. If not, then he will at some point. But we are back tomorrow at 7. Hopefully you will join us then. Been lovely to see you all. Hopefully some of you will sign up to the Patreon, but if you don't want to or you can't afford it or whatever, you're very welcome to come and join us. Anyway, I don't know what this stream is. I suspect it's going to be adult NSFW. So we'll see. Thank you, everyone. Chowsy chow chows. See you tomorrow. All right, let's just see what happens
unadulterated
here.
access to Pandora's nips. Yes, that is true. They will suckle upon the tea. On the
Wow.
Twitch dress code, female streamers must cover nipples, therefore topless BAP. I could be topless.